Welcome, my friends, to the Eternal Challenger League Season 3 Grand Finals. And today, guys, we have Aerocrastic facing off against Xiphos in our first match of the day, which is going to be a best of three. And then after that, we're going to be jumping down to the south side of the bracket, where we're going to be having Undertaker facing off against Falcon in a best of three, which will be determining, who's going to be going to face off in the Grand Finals. Should be quite a bit of fun. Welcome to the stream, guys. I am reading stream chat through my phone, so I might not be as on top of it, but I'm going to be trying my best. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. So yes, this is the bracket, and of course you can see in the previous Eternal Challenger League, if you guys want to see the first half of the Grand Finals, it is indeed up on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are looking to see that before you watch this, I would recommend going back, but honestly, this is going to be pretty fun, so I would just stay tuned for that. So just to recap, of course, this season, we had Aerocrastic, King of the Dead, Xiphos, RN, Hadries, Undertaker, Falcon, and Vicious Satsuma qualify, and the top four players here are going to be Aerocrastic, Xiphos, Undertaker, and Falcon, playing for the grand spot. It is time, and yes, we're about ready to get started, so let's go ahead and head on over to our main lobby here. So let's pull this up, and it's going to be Aerocrastic facing off against Xiphos. Should be quite a battle for sure. And yes, guys, this is going to be on the early access. So currently we are on the Shadow and the Blade DLC, so you guys are going to be seeing some new stuff. And I know Xiphos is an elf main, so it's going to be interesting to see what schemes he works with the new Dark Elves. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. It is time. Hyped to be here from the beginning, says Creighton. Great. Mr. Pig, Turin, still haven't gotten your laptop? No, man, Mr. Pig. So my laptop hadn't been shut down in years, and it shut down. And I've had this laptop since 2012, and I just forgot the password. I literally hadn't had to type in the password for that laptop since I had it in 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And I just can't remember the password. So I might just have to take it into the store and get it cracked or something like that, which is a little bit unfortunate. But in this first match, let's see. So Aerocrastic's going to pick Skaven and ban Tomb Kings plus Beastmen. Yeah. Xiphos says he's still learning the new toys, but the Scourge Hunter Chariots. Yeah, Xiphos, if you want to do good with new Dark Elf stuff, just use the Scourge Hunter Chariots. They're insanely good. And honestly, the other stuff's okay, but if you just add Scourge Hunter Chariots to your existing Dark Elf builds, it's only going to help. Yes, it is I, the Turinator. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. Hey, Turin, what you got into UFC and Pride? So when I was a kid back in the 90s, we had a local video store that used to have the UFC VHSs. So they had the VHS tapes of the early UFC fights. So I used to rent those as a kid. And from there I started, whenever I got access to the internet in the late 90s, I used to just kind of try and watch the UFC stuff. Not UFC, but well, I guess it would have been, YouTube didn't come around till the mid 2000s, right? So I guess that was when I really started getting into MMA. It was when I had access to early stuff I could watch online. Yeah. Scourge Hunter Chariots are pretty good in the Skaven matchup for sure. They have 150 range. Now, Skaven weapons teams can punish them a little bit, but it's a little bit scary to go with a bunch of Skaven weapons teams against the Dark Elf Rush. So it's a very scary thing, but nonetheless, I think we could see two Scourge Hunter Chariots because they're really good against Ogres and Hellpits and things like that. As far as new Lords go, Malice isn't bad here, for sure. He gets 2 lives and he's pretty scary. I mean, he has some really good leadership debuffs, which is pretty nasty against Skaven as well. So I'll be quite curious to see what they bring here. Should be quite a bit of fun. Scourge Runners are very good. I don't know if I'd call them OP yet. I think we need to see them used in a broader scale, see them used in tournament play and things like that before we really make our decision there. Which is just my 2 cents. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see. Alrighty, so players are picking their armies here. We're going to be on Pillar of Bone. And right now they're just discussing the new units. Yeah, the Blood Rack Shine is very similar to the Death Hag, except it has the missile attacks and its debuffs are a little bit different. This is the first game. This is the first best of 3, so Aerocrastic and Xiphos are going to be in this fierce battle here to see who advances to the Grand Finals of this early access Eternal Challenger League Season 3 finale. Yeah, there's some really strong stuff. The Skaven mortars, when the DLC first launched, the Avalanche mortars, they're really oppressive. We had been using them in quick battles and things like that, and we had, pretty much everyone found damn, those things are really strong. But basically, within the first patch, because basically how it works is in early access, Creative Assembly will have 3 or 4 patches where they balance things and change things based on feedback. And yeah, the Avalanche mortars got nerfed pretty quick actually, so they got changed to what's it called? Yeah, 1,500 gold from 1,300, and their accuracy seems to be vastly reduced. So they're really not that good anymore, to be honest. I'm glad I didn't make a review video talking about how awesome they are and everything. Wicked D, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining, as always. You're pulling for QSA, huh? Your fellow clanmate here at Aerocrastic. We will see. Certainly an ace. Scourge Runner Chariots, yeah, that's something about them that's really good, is they have 84 speed, which is crazy. Oh, man. Sorry about that, guys. I had like my little space heater going on, and I was like, what is that annoying sound in the background? And yeah, my apologies. So the space heater has now been tamed. Thankfully, we caught that before the first game, because that would have been pretty obnoxious. So you want to see at least one angry Jabba the Hutt on the stream, says Tiamat64. Well, you probably will. Who would play lizards here? Probably not Arrow, to be honest. I think Grom Brindle might play lizards on the bottom side of the bracket, or Falcon, of course. Falcon loves his lizards. So yeah, you'll probably see a Jabba over the course of the stream. I would imagine so. Wicked revealing his biases. Oh, no worries, man. Wish they would make Black Ark Defense Battle a walled map. I haven't really played those yet. I haven't really done the Dark Elf Black Ark stuff. All right. Cool. Oh, is he going Bretonia instead? So he picks Skaven and bans Tomb King and Beastmen. Okay, so it does not look like he's going to be going with the Chevaliers. Or however the hell you say that. Oh man, I probably mangled that so bad. He's not going to be going with Rapunzel's unique faction, which means he's not going to have access to Henry the Massive, the mountain that rides. Gregor Clegane, as we like to call him here. But yeah, hopefully he discovers that. I'm going to let him know, just in case he... the unique faction has Henry, by the way. Cool. Just making sure he knows. Just so it's fair game across the board. Yeah, no greenskins this game. No greenskins this game. Correct. Correct. Matthew Watt says, I remember being terrified of my phone losing power. I couldn't back it up because I couldn't update it because I did not have the old password. I know, just like, oh no, don't die on me. That's like a horror movie, right? Like, it's like not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, don't fall asleep. Don't let your phone lose its power or else you'll never wake up again. You know, that's pretty funny. Okay, so it looks like Zypho's just going to be going the standard Bretonia. Now, he does have access to Rapunzel, and there have been some balance changes to Bretonia. More importantly, the companions of Quinellis. Quinellis? I don't even know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm mangling that so bad. They have anti-large now, making them probably one of the best cav units in the game. Like, really good AP values, very, very strong in sustained combat, plus bonus for Sarge. Give me some of that. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Chevalier? Oh man, that's so rough. I'm really bad with pronunciations, unless it's Japanese. I can do Japanese pretty good because I studied it in high school, but yeah, it's tough. It is tough indeed. Yeah, but that's what's really strong about these Scourge Runner Chariots is like, you can't really catch them with heavy cav. They have 84 speed, so like Demogryph Knights, Empire Knights, like stuff in that kind of bracket of speed that's like 66 to like 70 something. They just can't catch them. And if you want to catch them with Skirmisher cav, they have 80 armor and they can also shoot while you're chasing them. It's like, it's really tough to deal with them actually. Some of the better ways to deal with the new Scourge Runner Chariots is probably to use missile play. Like just come in with like, you know, artillery pieces, cannons, things like that to really just put them down. If you're expecting a bunch of those. Yeah, the companions are really good. They're really, really good. I think we probably won't see them here simply because they're like overkill against Skaven. Against Skaven, typically I just bring like maybe a Knights of the Realm unit. They can deal with like ogres and some big threats, and then you bring a couple Knights Errant just to pressure gun lines and other pieces in the Skaven army. I actually played this matchup against Aerocrastic a couple days ago, so I'm wondering if he's going to bring the same build. He probably will bring like, of the new units, maybe Warp Grinders, I would imagine, just like one. But we had pretty good success when I was playing Skaven against Bretonia using the Poison Wind Mortars to actually deal with the Peasant Bowmen, which are very, very common here. But again, I'm not sure how Zyphos plays it. I would imagine he is going to have some ranged assets, knowing that he's like an elf guy. And that's kind of how he likes to play, but we'll see. Yeah, Flying Dutchman is very true. Japanese is pretty easy to pronounce, yeah. It's like, as you see it, is like how it sounds pretty much. I mean, there are some exceptions, of course, but for the most part, it's not too bad. Oh, yes. Yeah, Arkin got an armor buff on his chariot, Mr. Pig, Jason. He did indeed. He did indeed, my friend. All right, one sec, guys. Just checking something, making sure we're all good in the hood. We're all good. Great. Perfect. And thank you guys so much for joining. I'm glad it's taking a little bit of time so more people can get in chat. And we can make sure everyone gets to see the first game here as they pick their armies. I want to click their armies, but I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I was happy with most of the changes, but honestly, the biggest thing to come from this DLC, I mean, yeah, the new stuff's cool, but like the turn times for campaign, like I'm so incentivized now to go play campaign and just like I want to, like I have the itch. I'm like, oh, I just want to go bang out a couple turns real quick. It's not going to like be like, you know, tedious, especially Mortal Empires. Like I wish I had had that when the Franz campaign was going on. Man, that would have been nice for sure. But Vortex is so good. It's so quick. For our next campaign, we'll probably end up playing, I was looking to do either probably, I'll put up a bunch of old world options, like some of the factions that may have been changed with this patch, but it's either going to be like maybe a Rapunzel campaign or a Malice. I think Malice could be fun, but you guys probably are seeing that on other channels and are a little bit sick of it. So it looks like Aerocrastic is ready. It's going to be a clan war as well, QSA versus ODM, here in the grand finals of the Eternal Challenger League Season 3. And now we rise from the ashes and march forward. Here we go. Here we go. I finally convinced a friend of mine to get Warhammer 2. Watching his first multiplayer battle was amusing. Yeah, it's like if you've never played the game, like, or Total Wars in general, it's very different than your traditional like RTSs, right? It's very, very different. It's its own unique beast. It's its own unique beast indeed. All right, guys. So first map is going to be Pillar of Bone, a medium-sized map. One of my favorites, actually. I think it has a nice combination of like open field and, you know, some shenanigans if you want to like deploy over here on the edges and fight around this pillar over here, up here on this hill. Always some pretty funny fights as well. And Doma, thank you so much for the 5. Dawi from Another Hold arrived. It is a great honor. It is an honor, brother. Cheers, man. Thank you for the 5. Really appreciate it. Always good to see Dawi from Another Hold. And if you haven't already, I would recommend reading the Masters of Stone and Steel, which is I believe that's what it's called. Yeah. It's the Dwarf Omnibus from Warhammer Fantasy. It really captures the epicness of the dwarves for sure. Yeah. Turin, I think once Game 3 goes out, the most interesting faction to play will be the dwarf. Yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to happen in Game 3? You think it'll be dwarves? Well, hopefully dwarves will get the treatment that, like, you know, these factions just got, like Skaven and Dark Elves. Like, they'll get another DLC. I think they need it, for sure. Ah, that's delicious. Tiamat64 says he was a big StarCraft 2 player. Yeah, playing RTS games helps, for sure. Because a lot of the classic RTS principles, like, apply. You know, like concaves, like kiting, like, you know, there's a lot of things that still are very applicable to this game. All right, guys, and here we go. So let's take a look at the forces of Aerocrastic, who is going to be playing the dreaded Skaven. And, of course, a classic Skaven front line in the form of a bunch of Skaven slaves and clan rats, and really you don't really need much quality here. You basically just use Skaven slaves and then use like doom wheels and furnaces and wheels to you know, these guys to run over the basic Bretonnian infantry. So it's going to be a doom wheel as well. And for the leadership, we do, oh no, it's not going to be his lord. It's actually going to be a plague furnace, which is really good. Honestly, bringing a single Skaven plague furnace really handles your infantry issues. Like if you have a bad front line, just bring a plague furnace, and this bad boy is going to be able to do a ton of work against the infantry. So that's that. It looks like in the back, he is not going to be going for any mortars, interestingly enough. It's going to be a couple of groups of Warplock Jezzails. And for his lord, he does have the Deathmaster. Interesting. I was really expecting a scroll pick here, but Deathmaster against Bretonnia, pretty good at taking out damsels for sure. And if he's able to soften up like King Lewin or any of these flying lords, snares are a really powerful thing for sure. So Deathmaster being able to snare Alberic down to the ground, get some nice shanks with his Weeping Blades, could be pretty powerful for sure. Now he does have the Council Guard as well, Clan Rats in the back, with some Rat Ogre support and a very defensive Skaven formation. And yeah, Jezzails are going to have their hands full for sure. And for the forces of Bretonnia, who shall be led by Xiphos, the pride of France. It looks like it's going to be peasant mobs here. And for his main line, Battle Pilgrims and Spearmen, very good choice. Battle Pilgrims are amazing. They're shielded, they have good leadership, they beat down Skaven infantry. You can't ask for much more. It's a really, really good package right there. On top of that, we do have a couple peasant bowmen in the back with fire arrows to deal with helped abominations, other threats like that. Oh, what is this? Take a look, guys. There's going to be 2 field trebuchets. There's going to be some sweet blessings afoot here. So these things are going to be blessing the Skaven. Not the blessings of the Horned Rat, the blessings of the Lady, but nonetheless should be quite interesting to see how the dreaded double trebuchet. What is this? Oh, man. So we do have Pegasus Knights up in the sky, Alberic to bring in that Trident. And it looks like on the ground we have a Damsel of Life and a third. Oh, it's the dreaded triple build. Field trebuchets across the board. Oh, man. Are the Skaven ready for this? Because they're going to have to advance these trebuchets. And these are not Natty Bubo sharpshooters. So these sharpshooters are going to be forced forward, and they're going to be taking blessings to the face the entire time. Although, are they blessed? No, they're just regular trebuchets. But you know what? It's still blessings. It's okay. This is going to be fun. Man, I am really excited for this. I think it might catch Arrow off guard, actually, because like those trebs are... I mean, even though they're not accurate or terribly efficient, like they can still, like 3 of them focusing a Jezzail probably will take it out after a couple volleys, I would imagine. That's actually going to be really interesting because the Skaven build seems to be pretty heavily designed for kind of sitting and playing against a Bretonnian aggression. So Zyphos coming in with some mind games here, coming in with the dreaded triple trebuchet. Saying he's ready. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to adjust something real quick. And here we go. Doomwheel's going to be coming forward, as is the Plague Priest. Skaven Slave's going to be surging forward as well. Aerocrastic immediately. Good reaction time, of course, evaluating that he has to advance, basically. And I wonder if he's going to use the Jezzails to just shoot at some of the high-value targets up here in the sky, like Alberic and the Pegasus Knights, or if he's going to use it to go after the Trebuchets, which are now shooting. So the first Trebuchet volleys are coming in, clearly going to be going after the Jezzails and doing some solid work, to be honest. Takes out, 5 models. Trebuchets are going to be trying to juke, but if Zyphos is on point here, he's probably going to be switching the Trebuchets back and forth between the two targets, maybe? Actually, I guess he doesn't really need to. It looks like Aerocrastic is going to be kind of sitting here and taking shots and just trying to get what value he can before the main fighting starts. But so far, the Trebuchet metagame here just getting a little bit hog wild. And guys, mind you, Zyphos was the champion of the Eternal Challenger League Season 2, so he's coming back to defend his strap. Certainly some tough competition today. So the Jezzails are going to be shooting downtown. Looks like they're going after Battle Pilgrims right now. I think it's Peasants. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, they need to be getting onto some high-value targets. You can see up in the sky, Zyphos is just juking back and forth with Alberic, probably waiting to see where the Doomwheel's going to go. And yeah, he's just going to be trying to intercept. And I can tell you from experience, Aerocrastic is just so damn good with Doomwheels. It's very, very slippery there. Oh, and the Deathmaster getting his sigil, but it only lasts a couple seconds. And it looks like Alberic's going to be free, but is that going to be long enough to trap him up? Oh, look at this. Deathmaster's coming in with the shank. Alberic might get trapped up by these ogres. We're going to see. No, it looks like he's just barely going to get away. He's shaken, though, and that damage is still good. Like, that's not meaningless for sure. Now, the busted trebuchets, or the standard trebuchets, excuse me, in the back, have gotten some really good damage on the Jezzails. One group has been pushed back here. You can see they've actually broken off here. And the Peasant Bowman going to be unleashing a salvo of fire here into the Doomwheel. So really nice pick there. He was able to get some good value on Alberic, and now it looks like some Pegasus Knights going to be coming down to fight as well. A couple of models are trapped on the ground, but so far Arrow's gotten some really good value in the front line against the Pegasus Knights here, against Alberic, but nonetheless, he has lost one group of Jezzails, and now the Trebuchets, I would imagine, have switched onto the other group of Jezzails, which is going to be good, but they're actually getting some okay value while they're still here, shooting up in the sky against Alberic and company. But those Pegasus Knights going to be coming in with their anti-large punishment squad, trying to go after that Doomwheel. Deathmaster's down here as well. And it looks like there's going to be the Trident of Manon. So this actually does a lot of damage. Take a look, guys. It's going to be going through the Skaven forces, just buckling their line, doing some beautiful work right there. And also, I believe it does have a leadership effect as well, which is going to be tanking the Rat Ogres here, I'm guessing. Arrow needs to be very careful to make sure Deathmaster doesn't get caught up in a bad engagement, but he's actually getting some really good damage, and Deathmaster is shanking these Pegasus Knights down pretty effectively with his Weeping Blades, and it looks like he is able to break them off. Now the Plague Furnace has surged into the backline as well. All three Trebuchets are still shooting. One group of Jezzails is going to be taking some Trebuchet fire, and the other group, I believe, is somewhat compromised over here. Let's take a look. And yeah, it looks like the Pegasus Knights up in the sky were able to outmaneuver the Rat Ogres and jump on top of those Warlock Jezzails. Now, as far as the battle goes, I feel like it's pretty darn even, maybe slightly Bretonnian favored at this point. Alberic, now that there's no Jezzails on the battlefield, he can pretty much just have a field day with a lot of these large entities and things like that. And the Pegasus Knight play from Zyphos has been really good. I mean, very, very well thought out build back here. So he's going to be going after the Warlock Jezzails here, and you can see that Alberic is going to be jumping on the Plague Priest, and that's quite nice. But in response, Arrow is going to be pulling forward the Council Guard. So the Council Guard here are going to be able to provide some anti-large and maybe support this Plague Priest. He is a heroic character, so he should get the Guardian ability from these guys, although I don't see it on his tooltip, so maybe it doesn't work for the Furnace. Anyways, here, looks like some Peasant Archers are going to be getting forced back here by some Summoned Clan Rats, which will be disappearing relatively soon. And over here, Aerocrastic has gotten his Doomwheel, some Rat Ogres, as well as some supporting Skaven Slaves on top of this Field Trebuchet. So for the first time, it looks like one of the Trebuchet pieces is potentially going to be shut down. Granted, the Pegasus Knights could defend it, but it looks like just the tar pit of Skaven Slaves and Ogres should be able to deal with those guys, especially with the Doomwheel supporting. Now, the Deathmaster lurks on the ground. He's relatively healthy. Concealment Bombs and Slippery has been acted. Oh, this is big. If Aerocrastic can actually get a pick here and go after Alberic, that would probably be his way back into this game that he currently is losing, in my opinion. So here comes Deathmaster, going to be coming in with the Shanks. A little bit mucked up here, but he does take out a Pegasus Knight on the charge. But now he's going to be coming in. The Sigil's active. Alberic is going to be taking some serious damage here, I would imagine. If we look at Alberic's HP, he is at 2,700, and it looks like Deathmaster is trying to get those shots, but he's missed his last couple attacks here, and it looks like Alberic is going to be able to get away. That was unfortunate. So he didn't get the Shanks he needed, but I mean, nonetheless, Alberic probably would have been fine regardless, even if he got like hit once or twice. So if we look around, the balance of power is actually normalizing a little bit as the Skaven are pushing back into the trebuchets, and obviously they do count for something towards the balance of power. So this trebuchet is offline, this one's offline as well. It looks like the Council Guard in the Plague Furnace have been able to do that as well. And the Bretonnian front line is pretty much non-existent over here on this part of the battlefield if you guys look up here, but it looks like in the center they have some Spearmen at Arms and some Battle Pilgrims, so this is actually turning out to be a very, very close, scrappy game as the Deathmaster going in for a duel once again. Oh man, Alberic came in for a charge, took about 700 damage right there. Deathmaster was able to just outdo him so heavily in that duel. And of course his stats are pretty scary. Deathmaster's dueling stats are 70 and 50. Alberic did get debuffed by the Cloak of Shadows as well, which puts his melee defense down into the 20s. Against 70 melee attack, you don't want that. So it looks like the Plague Furnace here is going to be summoning some Clan Rats to fight these Battle Pilgrims, and Bretonnia still has a decent air force flying around. You can see they do have some Pegasus Knights over here. They have 8 of those bad boys, and I believe there's a group over here on this side still lurking about. Yeah, there's a pretty healthy group, and that's going to be hard for the Skaven to deal with for sure. Having that like flying goon squad is quite nasty. Granted, I mean, if Deathmaster just hangs out with these Rat Ogres, I don't know, Xiphos might have a bit of trouble killing him, I would imagine. So Ogres over here are going to be chasing off a fairly, decent populated group of Peasant Bowmen right there. These ones are going to be getting chased off as well. And it looks like Arocrastic's kind of clawing his way back into this game with some really, really scrappy play here. So in the meantime, Pegasus Knight's going to be going after the Plague Priest, and it looks like Alberic's Trident going to be going down as well to hit the Council Guard and to make some okay contact, but for the most part, it looked like that was a bit of a miss. Other Pegasus Knights here coming back online, but honestly, I don't know if Xiphos needs to rush the main fight. Oh no, Xiphos, what are you doing? He's charging his Pegasus Knights into the Council Guard. He needs to get out of here. He's going to be losing so many Pegasus Knights, and this is 18 Pegasus Knights. These guys are still value train units. Like, he needs these guys to win this game. So honestly, what I would do if I were Xiphos, I'd probably grab, and just for the record, Xiphos is a much better player than me, but just I'm able to watch this, right? I would say that the Pegasus Knights would probably want to go over here and maybe clean up the Doom Wheel and some of this other Skaven, trolling units here, and then from there you can get your Field Trebuchet back online and start to have a bit of a firing base against the very slow Skaven. But yeah, like fighting here, like you don't need to. This is already a lost cause. I think at this point, go get that Doom Wheel. It's a high value asset, which is, one of the reasons why the balance of power is in the favor of the Skaven. So again, it looks like Pegasus Knight's back up in the sky. Alberic looking to maybe goon a little bit. He's thinking about it. He's flying up and over, maybe trying to get some terror routes, and he does engage on the isolated Rat Ogres here. So you can see the Ogres going to be taking a pretty big charge, and man, this is a really, really close game. Yeah, they're going to go down very quick. Pegasus Knights are pretty much the antithesis here of these Rat Ogres and should be able to crump them pretty good. So nice pick by Xiphos, but the Deathmaster Sigil's active once again, and here he comes. The Rat Master going to be sprinting in. Now his Sigil won't last long enough, but Xiphos will take a little bit of damage on Alberic for the cause there. And yeah, of course, there's no charges on the, it has unlimited charges, so the Deathmaster Sigil will be up once again. Now, Xiphos needs to go after this Doom Wheel for sure. That thing needs to be put down. Go secure your Field Trebuchet, but it looks like he's going to lose that, unfortunately, to some Skaven Slaves. And these Ogres are going to be pushed off, which is probably going to shatter them, I would imagine. And yeah, the Doom Wheels and the Damsel are going to be going after the Wheel, which is a good play, but Arocrastic pulling ahead on this Bounce of Power. Absolutely amazing stuff, and one issue for Xiphos is I don't know if Xiphos is going to have enough stopping power to kill 53 Council Guard. I mean, maybe with some good cycle charging and having some troops on the ground. It looks like he has 18 Battle Pilgrims. Here, is there anything else? He's got some Spears and some Peasants. Okay, so he's got some stuff coming back, which is quite nice. Pegasus Knights in the meantime trying to get that Doom Wheel, but it looks like Arocrastic was able to juke those Pegasus Knights a little bit, which is very unfortunate. If the Doom Wheel is able to get back to the main Skaven army, that is going to be a disaster. And I think Xiphos knows this. Pegasus Knight's going to be pulling back up in the sky and recharging here against the Doom Wheel. He needs to head that thing off. If it gets back like to the Council Guard and the Rat Ogres and all those different supporting elements, oof, that's going to be a very, very disastrous situation. So Doom Wheel coming back in, running over a couple Battle Pilgrims. Pegasus Knights back up in the sky, going to be charging it once again. Now as far as HP, it has 824. Pegasus Knights with a nice charge right there. That was really, really good. That should be enough to potentially break this bad boy, although there are some Ogres coming back in now. Oh man, and just so many Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats. Doom Wheel's down to 503. Pegasus Knights trying their best to get this down. I would imagine Xiphos is spam clicking that thing with all of his might. Nice Earthblood going down right there. Probably going to be keeping him from losing any of these Pegasus Knight models to Skaven Slaves. Alberic in the meantime just kind of harassing the main line, which is pretty smart, kind of keeping them away from the main fight and having to respect those guys. Pegasus Knights pulling back up. Man, this is a close game, guys. This is ludicrous. Charging back in with the Pegasus Knights once again. And it looks like he makes pretty good contact. Damsel's coming in. Is the Damsel going to be able to finish off the Doom Wheel? It looks like she's charging back into the kind of pit here. And the Doom Wheel is finally broken, which is very nice, but he did lose 3 Pegasus Knights for the cause. So those guys did go there, and that was the troll toll he did have to pay to take out that Doom Wheel. So very, very powerful stuff there. Alberic, in the meantime, going to be rear charging this Plague Furnace, which is smart, but Deathmaster's Sigil is going to be coming off cooldown, and Deathmaster's been really good this game. He's been like snaring these Bretonnian Lords, just getting in there. The Shanks here could actually, and he has scaling damage, so the more beat up something is, the more damage he does. So let's see what kind of damage he does with this attack. Ooh, 500 whopping damage right there, and another attack's probably going to get in before Alberic's able to get away. Oh my god, he just chunked Alberic! Yeah, the scaling damage very strong. Like, he's squishy, his damage output is okay, but once he gets something low or something gets beat up in the late game, Deathmaster just coming in there with those Weeping Blades. And honestly, with Alberic getting shanked like that, that's probably going to be game. I think that Aerocrastic is going to pull this one back. Man, what a scrap! That was really intense. I cannot believe that. That was serious. Now, Xiphos has a couple elements left. He has a Damsel, he has Pegasus Knights. What else does he have? Alberic is pretty much just done for. He has some Spearmen at Arms fighting over here, so for anyone who's wondering about the rules, he is currently attacking because he does have these Spearmen fighting as well, and they're fighting against Clan Rats. But yeah, Alberic being so beat up after getting shanked like that, and it's only a matter of time before Deathmaster gets his Sigil back. He's going to be able to use that, snare down Alberic, and you know, anything that wants to land here. Pegasus Knight's going for a nice gooning attempt, getting a good charge there on the Plague Priest, doing a couple hundred damage. At this point, they definitely need to pull out, and Alberic is going to be helping the ground fight here, which is smart. Keep those Bretonnian infantry fighting. And in the meantime, Pegasus Knight's going to be taking additional casualties from the Deathmaster, who was able to get some really good shanks. Let's see what they're saying here. And it looks like Xiphos is saying GG, Aerocrastic saying GG. And that looks like it's going to be game 1 for Aerocrastic here in the Eternal Challenger League Season 3 Grand Finals. Wow. Yeah. Deathmaster, trust me, Deathmaster does not need a nerf. He's in a good place. He's very squishy. And his snare is very, very short. It's only a couple, like 6 or 7 seconds. But, I mean, Aerocrastic used it beautifully. So whenever you see a really high-level player using like a character like that, it's obviously going to look like it may need a nerf, but he doesn't. Like in a straight-up fight, if you were just to fight like a Lewin or Alberic character in open field, like it would be horrible for him. Yeah, that was really, really strong for sure. I don't know. I don't agree that he's OP. Maybe putting a cap on the snares just to 3, but really that's like all he has. Like he doesn't have much else. Like his item's okay. Like without that snare, he's just kind of like haggard, you know. And honestly, it was just really good timing by Arrow, like across the board. Yeah, Queek is pretty bad. Queek needs a buff, for sure. Like a lot of those like weird combat footlords that don't really have powerful items, like, yeah, they just suck. Deathmaster is cool though, because it's like a footlord that's actually good. I mean, people have been wanting one for so long, and you finally get one, you know. And there you go. Aerocrastic is going to be taking game 1. What a champ. So we shall update the scoreboard here, guys. Yeah, like I've had games where Deathmaster just gets like Spirit Leeched and then just like hit once or twice by a single entity and he just dies. Like you have to play very well with him and very careful and like tactical. I love the new portrait there for Alberic. It's really, really neat looking. All right, so Aerocrastic is going to be going up 1-0 there. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. This is a best of 3. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here. And Doma, thank you for the 5 again. Yeah, Dowie from another hold. Indeed, indeed. And yeah, let's go forward. Let's carry on. And get ready for this next battle. Tretch Graventail. I actually forgot about Tretch until you mentioned that. Cool. So for the next map, let's go ahead and do the River Amazon. It's a good one. Is next. 1 second. Be back in just a moment, guys. All right, there we go. It's time. It is time. Let us do this. And yeah, so we're going to be on River Amazon. So now the players are going into their picks and bans, and we're going to see what's cracking here, what schemes are afoot. Yeah, he does have physical resist of 30%, like all the Death Runner units, but he's still very squishy. I'll post a battle maybe tomorrow or the next day where I was playing Empire against Deathmaster, and I literally just like one-shotted him. I had Marcus Wolfheart net him and just snipe him, and then like Spirit Leeched, and he was just dead in one shot. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So this ECL is live. I did it last time because we just had some scheduling stuff, so it was a little bit tricky. But for this one, all 4 players were available, so we didn't have any issues. Which Gaven clan is your personal favorite? Oh, man. That's a hard one. I'm not like Clan Moors is kind of boring to me. I'm not a huge fan of Clan Molder. I like Clan Eshin. I think Pestilence is pretty funny. Yeah, probably Eshin and Pestilence, I would imagine. Scryer's pretty great though. Yeah, those three would be my favorites. Yeah. Nobody's gonna say Clan Rictus. Poor Tretch. He's just all neglected in the shadows. Best of 3. Correct. So we're doing a best of 3. Zyphos is going to be doing his picks and bans. Yeah, I heard Queek's campaign. You know what? I've been having a bit of an issue in my. I mean, look, in my Deathmaster campaign, like I'm just like there's no food nearby really. I'm like constantly starving. Like I literally am playing the whole campaign on hard mode just because my whole faction is starving nonstop. It hasn't really stopped us, to be honest. We've been able to just run over everybody, but it's just like because you don't get easy access to the Eshin or to the Warlock Engineer, so you have to like tech into the Undercity stuff. You don't like just get one for free early on. It's more assassin focused, so you can't like spam Undercities to deal with your food as easily. So yeah, I've been like starving the whole campaign. I just now, like in this last episode I recorded like yesterday, started to get my like feet under me. Turin, do you think Elithanar should get stock? Yeah, I don't see why not. Like give him stock. He doesn't have stock? Is that true? He doesn't? Man. I always thought he did for some reason. That's weird. A headhunting mechanic for Queek would be cool. Yeah, I think so, Jason. Clan Rictus is the best color scheme, says Romulan Dog. You're right, Romulan. They're true heroes of the Skaven. The one dislike is from Tretch, probably. Yeah. You got to grab the pastures. Yeah, I will. I will rinse for sure. It's just like I've literally been grabbing every territory on my border, so like I'm just working my way towards the pastures and stuff. Yeah, you got to spam rating and commandments. I think I'm finally going to get my food situation stabilized, like towards the end of the campaign. But we've been okay. Going after Tic Tac after the dwarves would have been the play. Yeah, you're probably right. It's all good though. We were able to kind of secure the realm. No stock until decoys deployed for a lith. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of funny how like Marcus would have stock, but this like 1,000-year-old elf wouldn't, or like thousands of year, training, just it's kind of a funny thing. Should we start a vote for the most haggard lord? Perhaps I'll do a list video if you guys would like that. Just like I don't know. I wonder who the worst lords in campaign are. Probably like Grimgor. Grimgor is probably worse in multiplayer and campaign. So, Zyphos is going to go. He's going Wood Elves, and he's going to ban Greenskins and Tomb Kings. And Aerocrastic coming back with the jest. Not banning Norska, and Zyphos says, why would I? Perhaps Arrow will show him why. Perhaps Zyphos is here to prove a point. Oh man, this is good. We got some gamesmanship here. I like this. I like this. Yeah, the dwarf crafting system's pretty cool. The thing about the dwarf campaigns is like you get into steamroll mode so easily. Once you get like the front line of Ironbreakers and Longbeards and like just guns, you just like steamroll everything. It's just like that's my experience with dwarf campaigns. Yeah, and then Aerocastic says, well, all right, this map does have a lot of forests. And Zypho says, it does. And a very cryptic way there. Yeah. Thank you guys all for joining today, by the way. I see we have 918 people. That's pretty cool. Thank you guys so much. And will Zyphos come back with a counterpunch here, or will he be defeated by Aerocrastic? We will find out. Zyphos, again, is the returning champ. Zyphos, of course, was our Season 2 champion. So he is back with a vengeance. I really thought he was going to win that game. His initial opening was very, very solid. I don't know what he really needed. Maybe a couple small like decisions, like peeling off to deal with that Doom Wheel earlier could have won him the game. I don't know, though. It was still hard because Arrow had the freaking Council Guard with a snare. It was just like, oh, man. Like, getting through that Council Guard would have been really, really rough. Yeah. Everybody's expecting High Elves versus Greenskins, and since High Elves only have... Yeah, I mean, that would be a really cool DLC for sure. I know. That was a really funny part of the patch notes, Lego Brock, was Grimgor Ironhide now marked as high threat. That was like my favorite thing, like in the patch notes in general. Oh, Aerocrastic going with the Empire. Going back to the Huntsman's realm. I wonder if we'll see a Marcus. Marcus is pretty good here. mean, he can be sniped himself, though. Like, if Zyphos brings, like, some Way Watchers, you have to be really careful. But Marcus does have nets, which are very good against elves. And his counter sniping could potentially be very strong, right? But Zyphos has the advantage of having, like, a tree line and stuff like that. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Bretonia's campaign's fun, but the thing about Bretonia, I've realized, you can get into a really scary Doom stack like fairly quickly by like turn 60 or 70, and just have a full Doom stack of Royal Hippogriff Knights, and like at that point, it's basically just steamroll. Yeah. No lizards have been played yet today, Wesley. They're still in their dens hanging out. They've been hanging. I'm sure they'll appear. Just wait. Next match is going to be Falcon versus Undertaker, so I'm sure we'll be seeing some lizards between those two. Fine gentlemen. We usually do. Yeah, I haven't played Throg in campaign, so I'm not. I did a head-to-head campaign with Italian Spartacus once where I was playing Ungrim and he was playing Throg. But yeah, that campaign ended on the second episode, unfortunately, so we didn't really get to see Throg come into his own. Yeah, that was the one where I took control of Sirtha X army against his Throg. Oh my god, that was probably one of my favorite moments on all of Warhammer. If you guys haven't seen that, look up the head-to-head campaign where it's just like Throg versus Ungrim head-to-head, and I believe it was the second episode where like I control Sirtha X legions. Oh my god, it was the funniest thing ever. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, which faction is your favorite? From a lore perspective, Empire and Dwarves. To play right now, Tomb King, Skaven, Empire, Vampire Coast, probably. Those are probably my favorites to play. Yeah. I love the Empire, yeah. Yeah, from a lore perspective, Empire's really good in multiplayer, too. Somebody actually asked me the other day if they thought Empire was OP. I don't think so. I think Empire's a hard-to-play faction, but in the hands of a good specialist, or, you know, just a solid player, they're very micro-intensive. Empire has some really, really powerful tools for sure. And they can, and what's cool about Empire is like you can kind of hang with anyone. Like every matchup is doable in one way or another. I know. Neil, that was probably one of my favorite moments. The Sirtha X just came in and like kited Throg into oblivion and then just like surrounded him at the end. Oh my god. The DLC, so basically the DLCs usually unlock after, based on like, I think it'll be like 4 or 5 p.m. like British Standard Time. Or British Time or whatever it is, whatever it's called. So it'll be like, yeah, if you're West Coast, it'll probably be like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 in the morning. And then if you're probably like 8. And then if you're East Coast, it'll probably be like 11 a.m. Yeah. I know, mole spaghetti. And ever since then, like, there's been no interest in playing another one. Oh my god. Was watching Lotus Moon stream the other day. He fights the whole battle with... Yeah. Yeah, Lotus plays from very high up when he plays. Like, he doesn't, like, look... Like, he's, like, eagle-eye view. I mean, it's a decent way to play, for sure. But I like seeing the units fight. So I don't do it, but... So they're just checking rules discussion real quick. They're basically just figuring out some of the rules as we get started here in our second game. For CET, according to stream. Okay. GMT is British time. Okay. Steam is saying 20 hours from now. Yeah, okay. That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, Lotus plays in tournaments for sure. He's played and gotten to the finals in pretty much all my ECLs, and he didn't enter this season. He didn't ask to play in it, but I'm sure he'll be back next season. He's a very, very good player for sure. Cool. Just answering some rules questions. I wonder if we're going to see the buffed wagons, because wagons got some minor buffs actually. Now they have 40 more ammunition, so they have a couple more volleys for sure. And I believe they got a cost reduction. So we'll see. Yeah, it's hard for him because he's in Australia, I believe, so his time zones are very, very tricky. Yeah, Wicked hit it on the head there. How do we find the video of that Sirtha Ek battle? Hold on. I could probably find it for you guys real quick. Hold on. I just have to do a little searching. Throg, I think was... I'll find it. Yeah, here it is. Oh my god. How does this only have like... Oh, that was... Okay. You guys want to see it from his perspective? Here we go. It should be on this stream somewhere. So you can see it there. I don't know when the battle is on the stream, but you should be able to skip through. There's one towards the end where he's like...
Probably, yeah, probably does have some sort of fucking disgusting.
That's a bit of my concern here, but...
No, it's not that one. It's like an hour and a half in or something. Yeah, but you guys can find it there. All right. Cool. Not that I think anyone would ever use 8-word answers, but it is an option. All right, guys. Sorry for the wait. Again, it is the grand finals, so people taking their time here. Is tic-tac-toe worth picking in campaign? I don't know. He never like called to me. Yeah. I know, Jens. I was trying not to either. Oh my god, it was so funny. Debug camera. Yeah, you can use debug camera in tournaments. Yes, you definitely can. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna grab some tea real quick. All right, guys, we're back in action. What change do you think would make vampire counts less one-dimensional? Well, Poignant Jester, they actually just made some good changes for that. They buffed Graveguard and Cryptors and a couple other Footlords and stuff like that. So, yeah, so it's certainly a lot better for him. I actually had a couple games against Arrow the other day where we made like Footlord Vampires work pretty well against competitive builds. So, do I have Tic Tac? I don't. I thought I had downloaded Tic Tac. I clicked the thing, but I don't think it went through, and I don't care enough to... I think that's got to be like a running meme that like all through the history of Warhammer, I just never download tic-tac-toe at this point. It's because you never used him. I know. Matthew, you're correct. He got me good. No, you didn't miss much. This is just the second battle. We've had some long picking processes here, but that's okay. You know, the players wanted to make sure their armies are solid. It is the grand finals for all the marbles. And yes. Let's take a look. So for the forces of Arrow Krasik, currently up 1-0 here in this best of 3. You can see here his backline is going to be all spearmen. Oh, Volkmar the Grim. Oh, hell yes. So Volkmar is here, and it looks like he is expecting a bit of a rush from the Wood Elves, not so much missile play. And Volkmar is a great counter to Dryads. He does fire damage, he does magic damage to get around their physical resist, and yeah, he's a beast for sure. Loving that. Volkmar the Grim, what an absolute ace. Spearman to the front line. It looks like he's going to be coming in with Knights of the Blazing Sun across the board and Empire Knights. One group of Pistoliers, and for his caster, he has a Windblast caster plus a Cascading Firecloak caster. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Now for the force of Xiphos, let's take a look here. So for Xiphos, oh my god, it's going to be Orion and Mel Gibson facing off against Volkmar the Grim. I am so excited for this. And Xiphos, you know, normally displays Way Watchers, like always, right? But this build, I think, could do it. I mean, it's going to be a messy fight. Wardens of Sithral, Dryads across the entire front line. Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips, Wild Riders as well, Sisters of Thorn, Wild Hunters of Kurnus. It's literally a Wood Elf Rush build, led by the Dark Lord himself, Mel Gibson. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Look at this. Coming in with those badass antlers. Just looking straight out of Braveheart. He's got his spear. Oh man, this is going to be good. And it looks like he is even going up for a Vanguard deployment, perhaps? He could actually like deploy up in this forest here. That would actually be really funny. Yep, so we got... Volkmar the Grim coming in, facing off against Mel Gibson. Only here on this YouTube channel will you find such glory. Mel Gibson is actually a pretty good answer against Volkmar in a way. I mean, Mel Gibson does have anti-large and AP. And he's pretty fast, 54 speed against 50 on Volkmar. He's faster than Volkmar, so he can like chase him down and pressure him pretty hard. And if the Dryads can like clear up the state troops and Volkmar can be kind of pinned in place by Orion, the big issue for the Wood Elves is going to be dealing with the Empire Heavy Cav. Wild Riders aren't super efficient in that fight, but granted with a little bit of magic support they can do okay. especially the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, who do have bonus versus large, so they can easily dispatch like some Empire Knights. Knights of the Blazing Sun will be a little bit trickier. In the back, Arrow does also have the silver bullets as well, so we're going to see what happens here. Mel Gibson got buffed this patch. What were the changes, Pacta? I don't quite remember off the top of my head. And yes, this is best of 3, so if Arrow Krastic wins this, he will be advancing on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Falcon and Grombrindle. And we'll see how that goes. That is going to be our next match of the day. Both players tense. I can feel the tension in the air as the Dryads here cackle and prepare for battle. As far as spells go, he does have Earthblood and Pendulum, pretty much the standard kit you usually see on branch rates. Pendulum's really good. Like, if he can't get back there to shut down those handgunners, he can just use a Pendulum and probably do some substantial damage to them. The Volkswagen is here, but, like, you know, honestly, Arrow tries to win the hearts of the people, but so does Xiphos coming in with Orion. But as much of a joke as we usually make of Orion, he's actually quite powerful. And Orion is going to be pretty good here against Volkmar the Grim, potentially. He does do physical, so yeah, he doesn't do magic damage, so Volkmar isn't going to get that magic resist that he does have on his altar here. And the Empire, immediately seeing the sight of terrifying Mel Gibson rushing them, is going to be pulling back, pulling forward their Knights of the Blazing Sun. But the Wild Riders are right behind the infantry, so as soon as the Empire Knights come in, there probably will be a countercharge. Oh, that's some delicious water. Delicious water indeed. So there are some spears. We do have the Wardens of Sithril here. Orion's going to be kind of screening out to go after these knights as well. And it looks like over here, Arrow Krastic's going to be like falling back into open field to try and pull the Wood Elves out of the forest, which is pretty smart. Here you can see Knights of the Blazing Sun do take some casualties. It looks like Orion might have thrown a couple spears. And here comes some sisters doing a little bit of harass here. But oh, they're going to be taking this fight here. This is ballsy. This could actually lose Xiphos to the game, to be honest. I mean, that's a big fight here. I guess he's going for it, but with Volkmar's buffs, that's going to be a pretty gross situation. Oh, no, and here comes the Soulfire Bombardment. Oh, the damage. Oh, no, the Sisters of Thorn getting melted. Xiphos comes in with a full surround here from the Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips, but I just don't think that was worth it. That was really, really rough. Man, he took a lot of damage on those Sisters. Granted, he's still fighting here somehow, some way. The Curse of Onrare, I guess, doing some pretty good debuffs on their melee attack, but pretty much negated by the Grand Hammer of Sigmar. So now, of course, we do have Orion coming in, yelling freedom the entire way. Over here, some of the Wild Hunters of Kurnus unfortunately mismicroed into a blob of spears, Knights of the Blazing Sun. Also taking some punishing Overwatch fire here from the Silver Bullets. It's a really good play from Arrow, getting those nice traps so far. But here, I mean, maybe Arrow Krastic can kind of, or excuse me, Xiphos can make some ground back. Because, man, he took a beating in those initial engagements for sure. The Empire lost some Knights of the Blazing Sun, it looks like. And these ones are steady as well. And Mel Gibson is certainly going to be able to chase Volkmar, but you can see the bounce of power already going into the favor of the Empire very, very early in the game. Oh, and that Wind Blast is so good, man. He's just been so on point with his spell casting here in those engagements, and the Grand Soulfire Bombardment was able to just do so much work as well. Just absolute insanity here as this battle does progress onward. My damn phone screen just keeps turning off. Over here, Silver Bullet shooting downtown. It looks like now they're going to be going after Orion, who's on the hunt. And just like we kind of predicted, Orion has been doing good against Volkmar. He's been kind of keeping him in check here, chasing him down. But, he, you know, just those big cav fights, that cav engagement there was really not necessary. I think just waiting for your Dryads to kind of saturate the front line and do their, you know, heavy lifting there. And then from there, counterpunch with your Wood Elf cav, which are faster and more mobile. Probably would have been the better choice. Knights of the Blazing Sun going to be taking some heavy casualties here from Orion, getting in there as well. But you can see the Wood Elves are kind of crumbling around the battlefield. Mel Gibson's able to come over here, excuse me, what's his name, Volkmar the Grim, and ride down some of these Dryads right here. So those guys, you know, taking some heavy damage as well. Wood Elves do have some Wild Riders here. Wardens of Sithril, Wild Hunters of Kurnus are still online, but it looks like there's going to be a huge Empire Knights of the Blazing Sun charge right into the faces of these Wild Riders. Wild Riders very lightly armored, not the best at these head-up like kind of engagements like this. Maybe if the Wardens of Sithril can get in there and kind of saturate a little bit, but it looks like it's going to be a relatively quick game going in for Arrow. And Xiphos is going to withdraw, realizing it's over. And really, I thought Xiphos' build had the tools. I think it was just a couple poor engagements really cost him that fight. But, you know, it is what it is. It's really hard to get those proper engagements from time to time. But, yeah, the mustache of Volkmar was pretty powerful. Mel Gibson looking quite regal in his new portrait over there. But I actually really like Xiphos' build. Like, I thought it had some teeth for sure. And it was kind of unorthodox. He didn't have Way Watchers and his usual stuff. But, yeah, tricky stuff. Tiamat64, thank you for the donation. Be crushed by the power of the Grand Mustache. Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so. So very well played. With that, Arrow Krastic is going to be advancing on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Falcon and Grombrindle, a.k.a. The Undertaker. So let's go ahead and update the bracket, ECL Finals bracket, and Arrow Krastic will be moving on to the Grand Finals. So there we go, guys. There you have it. As we advance onward. GG, guys. So Zyphos saying, I thought you'd go for cannon spam. That's why I should never change my winning builds. Yeah, Zyphos regretting the decision. Aerocastic says, you're the Way Watcher master. Yeah. Sometimes people can mind game themselves. I do that all the time. Yeah. I do that all the time. Yeah. Tricky business indeed, guys. So that's going to be moving on to the grand finals here. Not grand finals, but the second half of the bracket, excuse me. We can do that. All right, cool. Just saying well played to the competitors. And there we have it. So now it is time for Falcon to join up and Grom Brundle. So let me go ahead and tag those mad lads here in the chat. And let's go ahead and get the Undertaker. You're up. So we'll see who joins first. Falcon is in. So let's go ahead and jump back to the lobbies here. Now we're going to set up the scorecards and everything, and we'll be good to go from there. So thank you guys so much for joining today. It's a pleasure. Hope you're all having fun and enjoying this this early showdown. And we'll put, his name is Undertaker in Discord, so we're going to put the Undertaker. Although, I don't know what name he's playing under. Just treason across the board. We got to change the score as well. And there we go. Okay, he's as Grom Brundle, so we'll change it to Grom Brundle. Plus, everybody loves it. Grom Brundle's such a cool character. How could you not like the guy, you know? How could you not like Grom Brundle? All right, guys, it's time. Dragons are pretty awesome, for sure. Breath attacks are very powerful. All right, for the map, we're going to do, let's go ahead and do Shard Soften. Bracket. So, just checking the brackets for the guys real quick. So Undertaker, we'll start with picks and bans. Starts with pick and double ban. Cool, and there we go. It is showtime. Cool, just letting the players know. So now Grom Brundle is going to be picking and doing a double ban. So we're going to see what he does here. And it looks like he's maybe going to pick Skaven, which is interesting because Grom Brundle is a dwarf guy. That's his main thing. But looks like he's going to be opening with Skaven. I think he wants to save his dwarves, which I believe is his best faction, for a little bit later in this best of three. Maybe for once he kind of gets the jitters out of the way, kind of feels out his opponent's play. That could be what's going on here. Turin, do you think that we're going to get Clan Molder? I think we'll eventually get like the big Skaven clans. We'll probably get Molder, and yeah, I bet you we will someday. I bet you it'll be like a DLC or a free DLC at some point. Yeah. I know. The Dwarf Main, the irony of a Dwarf Main picking Skaven here, but so he's going Skaven, he bans Dark Elves and Beastmen. That's pretty smart. They're both factions that have some really good tools against Skaven. Falcon, I wonder what Falcon will come in with. Probably like Avalorn? I can see Avalorn. Like Dryads in the front line are just so good. Lothern Seaguard with like a dragon to just goon out the Skaven, you know, machinery. I can see that being what Falcon goes with. Or Tomb Kings. Yeah, Tomb Kings are really good against Skaven as well. Yeah. So, I mean, Skaven have tools against Tomb Kings as well. But, yeah, I think this is going to be pretty strong for sure. So we are going to get Tomb Kings. It's looking like Tomb Kings, guys. It goes in the book. Perhaps it does. I'm sure he'll earn back all of your hearts later. All right, one sec, guys. And thank you guys so much for joining today, by the way. It's been quite a pleasure to hang out and chat with everyone. Willamos says it's treason. Isn't he one of your clanmates, Willamos? You're gonna have to have a talking with him. You're gonna have to speak to his manager, it would appear. All right. So Felkoff, he's Felkoff today. Well, hopefully for his sake, he's not Felkoff. He's Felcon. We'll see. But yeah, Skaven versus Tomb Kings. My favorite build that Tomb Kings use here is the dreaded double Bone Giant because it just wrecks Skaven artillery and like big threats. But I don't know. I wonder if Grombrindle's going to be privy to that. The Bone Giant is like the hard counter against the Skaven Turtle. So if you're expecting someone to box and like sit back, the double Bone Giant just crushes that build. So I wonder if Falcon will do that. I've used it against him a couple times. I wonder if he will. Although I have a feeling Falcon's still going to go for more of a rush. I feel like the rush is like a more proven build, like using Arc in the Black with like just a ton of Nahakara horsemen and chariots and carrion and just like swarm the Skaven. That usually works pretty well. I don't know. I'm quite curious to see what will happen here. I feel like Grombrindle could use Deathmaster here. Deathmaster is actually not bad against Tomb Kings because he can snare down their leadership. Like, so for example, if Cetra is cycle charging, or if you have like Arkin cycle charging on his chariot, you're able to snare them in place and shoot them, or get in there with melee attacks. There's a lot of answers here. Zardar Total War, hey man, very well played in last weekend's tournament. And guys, by the way, okay, let me start the battle here firstly. So we had the Festdog Bowl last weekend, and it was streamed over on Total War Official's Twitch account. But there was some technical issue where they were having trouble restreaming it to YouTube. But nonetheless, I talked to a couple of folks over there, and we're going to figure out a way to upload the Festdog Bowl either to Total War's YouTube channel or to my channel and Sparty's channel. So just stay tuned. That'll be up soon. And Zardar played very well in that event. Very, very well. Turin, do you think that the multiplayer tier list will change? Oh, yeah. A little bit, maybe. But, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, tier lists are just, like, so situational. I've always hesitated to make one, but, yeah, there are some factions that are just objectively better. But, yeah, I don't know. Probably it'll change a little bit. Not, like, drastically, but because Dark Elves are already top tier, as are Skaven, so it's like they're just getting better now, so. Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. We're going to be trying to get the Festdog Bowl up and everything. Probably, hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have an update. Where were you streaming from? The Festdog Bowl was streamed from a studio in Los Angeles called the Esports Arena. It's like it's a facility that you basically rent, and they provide you with like an engineer and like sound people and stuff, and it's really nice. So we were doing that from Los Angeles. Yeah. It was pretty cool. The Festdog Bowl was amazing. Like, it was amazing. The games were all so good. Like, there was only, like, even the games that went 2-0 were, like, really close. I have to say, those were some of the best games I've seen in quite some time. Amazing performances across the board. It was really fun. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll try and get the Festdog Bowl up somewhere. Yeah, Bone Giants got a nerf, actually. Oh, yeah, they got nerfed. So Bone Giants got, I believe they got like a bonus for large buff, but they got like, they lost 30% of their accuracy. So I don't know how good they'll be against Skaven anymore with that accuracy nerf. Like, I wonder, yeah, that's something to consider. I might have to change my build. Yeah. Yeah, they got buffs, but they also lost 30% of their accuracy from what I was told. That's pretty big. Oh man, guys, I just finished painting. So I'm painting right now in Warhammer 40k. I'm painting my Night Lords. So I painted 2 Night Lord Smash Captains. Oh my god, they're so cool looking. The one thing I'm really terrible at doing is painting the little lightning bolts. Like, I'm just terrible at that. But aside from that, oh my, it's so cool. I gotta show you guys. Maybe I'll put something up on the community section. So Falcon may be coming in with the rush. A little bit of a lag as we load in here, but that's okay. I mean, one player may have just disconnected or something like that, at which point we could just load back in and have them bring the same armies, which would be fine. So we'll see. Went back to my first Magic tournament in 6 years. Red deck wins. Yeah, 5 and 3 is pretty good. Mono red is just such a safe archetype. Okay, looks like we're loading in. Someone's PC was a potato. I hear Wookiee just barking angrily out there. I will, Wesley. I'll post them in there. I see you posting there all the time. I actually lurk in that part of the Reddit quite often, but I lurk. Yeah, I painted my 2 Chaos Night Lords, Chaos Lords with the jump axe, and now I have to paint 10 Warp Talons. So that'll be fun. Yeah, Night Lords have some really cool strategies now, yeah. Or stratagems, yeah. They're really, really good. They can like guarantee charges from Deep Strike, and plus Warp Talons ignore Overwatch, so you basically just drop them in, tarp at your opponent's forces, and they have a stratagem that makes it so your opponent can't fall back. So there's like a ton of cool strategies you can do with them. Yeah, Alpha Legion's really good also. They got some great buffs. The army I currently play for tournaments, I'm actually playing in a 40k tournament this Saturday. The army I play there is, yeah, sorry about the load-in time, guys. Hopefully we can figure it out in between games. It's just the nature of live gameplay. I play a Night Lords battalion and an Alpha Legion battalion, so it's I run a triple, like a double battalion there. With Obliterators and Bikes and Alpha Legion, and then Warp Talons and Smash Captains, or Smash Lords and the Night Lords, and then for the third detachment, I run Death Guard, and I just run a couple Plague Burst Crawlers for a screen for all that stuff. Yeah, Blood Angels still probably have some of the best Smash Captains in the game. They're just insanely good. Space Marines in general are just way better than Chaos, unfortunately, for me. Like their Smash Captains like just have better rules. They can do 4 damage a hit. They can fight when they die. It's just like so much good stuff. Anyways, guys, here we are finally loading in. Doesn't appear to be any lag, so it seems like one of the players just may have like some PC, like a slow PC or something. Like, yeah, no internet issues. So for the force of Grombrindle, let's take a look here. He does have the Rattling Gunners up here on the high ground. A couple groups of Jezzail, so it looks like he does have a defensive gun line. So he has a gun line here. He has double Hell Pits protecting it with Lord Scroll, so he's going with some of the more proven stuff. And up here in the front, it looks like he's got Skaven Slaves ready to take a beating for the Horned Rat, Council Guard, and Ixcha's Triad. So he does have the new ROR Triads, which are a really good choice. Only 54 models, but what's cool about them is that you can use the Doppelgang ability to summon a clone, and the clone is just it can take charges, it can target enemy forces. It's very, very good for sure. On top of that, it looks like more Clan Rats and just some more chaff over on the far side of the battlefield, and that's pretty much it for Grombrindle. But yeah, it's going to be very heavily dependent on protecting these Warplock Jezzails and the Rattling Gunners. Lord Skrulk, of course, just being a filthy rat as usual. So that's going to be it. Now let's take a look at the Dark Lord Felcon and his army here. Nehekar Horsemen, 2 of those guys, and here for the main line, it's going to be Skeleton Chaff. Clearly, it's a rush build, and this is like the more standard, proven build against Skaven. He's got two groups of Nehekar Horsemen, a bunch of Skeleton Archers, which are great against Hellpits and Rat Ogres. For his leadership, he has Cetra on a chariot. Oh yes, Cetra on the Chariot of the Gods, with a Camarine War Sphinx and the dual Camarine War Sphinx. So double Camarine War Sphinx against double Hellpit Abomination. Pretty fun stuff. This is going to be interesting. Does Felcon have enough stopping power to bring down 2 Hellpit Abominations? He does have the Skeleton Archers, but aside from that, not too much kind of anti-large focus. Granted, Cetra does probably have Cursed Blades, which can give bonus versus large, and Camarine War Sphinxes can obviously fight Hellpits and do pretty well, but yeah, we're going to see here. Good luck, have fun. Good sportsmanship across the board. And here we go. So the Skaven here, my only concern for the Skaven is I feel like the box might want to be a little bit tighter, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, shooting at the Skeleton Horsemen is a pretty good choice actually, because they're one of the few things that can actually really just do great work against the Hellpit Abomination. Rattling Gunner is going to be scooting over as well in these Warplock Jezzails, but Felcon is certainly going to be able to get that good surround, and I just don't see the Skaven formation being able to protect all this stuff here. There's just so many, oh man, so there's like a bunch of openings to kind of get in here, but we'll see. So Ixcha's Triads have been discovered, so it looks like Felcon's going to be seizing that and going after them using his Skeleton Horseman Archers here. It would look like, yeah, he gives the order right there. He clearly has fire at will turned off, so they're only going to be shooting when he gives the order, which is really smart. So Ixcha's Triads taking a pretty big volley to the face. They have 20 armor and some physical resist, but at this point they need to pull back. Nehekar Horsemen surging in, and the Ixcha's Triads are going to rush in to intercept them with the Hellpit Abomination. So that could be an okay engagement here. Tomb Kings look like they're committing very heavily to this position, but there are some Rattling Gunners here as well. So the Rattling Gunners need to make sure they start shooting. They're just kind of sitting and being obstructed. He needs to make sure they're shooting at a big target. Oh, Wrath of Petra coming in as well. Cetra surging in. Second Hellpit Abomination coming in to intercept, and some Clan Rats, but it looks like a lot of the Skaven weapons teams are going to be shut down here pretty hard and fast. But nonetheless, I mean, not a bad engagement for both players. And we still do have the Jezzails over here, which are shooting into Cetra, although they haven't really done much damage. Another issue for the Skaven is they have to, hold this front line, and the Skeleton Warriors are going to be able to beat the Skaven Slaves. So eventually that front line will crumble. Lord Scroll getting a little bit overextended here. He needs to be careful. There's still 2 big angry Sphinxes here, and if those Sphinxes are able to turn on Scroll, they could just take him out here. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just going to leave Cetra to go after Scroll, but nonetheless, in a little bit of a precarious situation. So one Hellpit Abomination is going to be engaging here against the big Sphinxes. The Skaven weapons teams are somewhat online. Warplock Jezzail shooting. Rattling Gunners are a little bit obstructed once again. Grombrindle needs to really make sure to get those Rattling Gunners online. He needs to turn. He needs to start shooting. because without them, he's basically just fighting with one leg here. This Helped Abomination does overextend a little bit into Falcon's double Khemerian War Sphinxes, and they are able to 2v1 it pretty effectively. Rattling Gunners are finally shooting up into the Skeleton Horsemen up here on the high ground, and Skrulk is going after Cetra and actually doing some really good damage. Cetra taking a bit of work here. Some Plague Monks have been summoned as well, but now Cetra is going to be surging into the back line, and Tokyo drifting right into these Warplock Jezzails. You can see a pretty big beating coming down as, oh man, he just cleaves through those guys. He definitely makes them serve, as those Warplock Jezzails are now broken. Man, Cetra with a brutal charge. Nadakar Horsemen also swarming all over the back line, and the Council Guard, where are they? Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Grombrindle's Council Guard are just in the Shadow Realm. Like, he should have had those guys in the main line fighting by his weapons teams, but yeah, they're just like, I don't know what they were chasing over there. Pretty unfortunate circumstance for sure. Now, if we look back at the fight, Skrulk's in okay shape, just fighting some skeletons. It looks like they're crumbling. The Helped Abomination's just in that scrappy fight, but really, if I were Grombrindle, I mean, he's not in bad shape. Falcon's certainly ahead on the balance of power, but if he can pull back the double Helpets, stack on top of the Council Guard, get Skrulk over there as well, Grombrindle certainly has a chance in this game. Granted, if it keeps going down this path, he lets his Helpets fight overextended away from their supporting elements, Grombrindle's just going to lose this game. So Khemerian War Sphinx is still going into town here, going after this Helped Abomination, which is now wavering. And as soon as that thing breaks, it's going to be disaster, because it'll just get chased off the battlefield. Other Helped Abominations coming in as well. Skrulk going to be dropping some summons, and you can see the Tomb Kings pretty much everywhere are just riding down the rats. Over here, Warplock Jezzails have been pushed off. And again, the Council Guard, pretty big misplay there by Grombrindle. He did have those guys, and they needed to be near his main army. They just, like, if they were in this big engagement here when the Tomb Kings first came in for an Alpha Strike, it would have been a very different engagement for sure. Helped Abomination here, -10. I'm sure Falcon will chase this bad boy down, but it looks like he's more privy to focus down that Helped. And again, being a very, very savvy tournament player here, he is going to be sending some Skeleton Horsemen to chase down that Helped, which will now not be coming back. Skrulk comes in with the Rod of Corruption, not a bad one right there, killing some Skeleton Warriors and other troops like that. And Skrulk Daddy is getting a little bit messy here, kind of beating down this Khemerian War Sphinx, but oh, the too horrible to die proc, but too little too late. That thing is simply just going to get chased off the battlefield. Some Rattling Gunners are back online as well, but Falcon with the Vice Grips coming in, not letting anything escape here. You can see these Rattling Gunners are being hunted down. The Council Guard are coming in as well, but it shouldn't be too hard to just cycle charge the Council Guard into oblivion with these big monsters. And man, that Helped is just not dying. That thing is holding on like an absolute beast. Grombrindle has done some good damage to Cetra, to the Sphinx, but again, fighting in that overextended position where the Skeleton Horsemen archers could just basically just sit and go after that Helped all day was pretty detrimental to the Skaven overall. And now this Helped's going to get chased down. He's pretty much offline. The Council Guard have finally made it in. Some weapons teams from the Skaven are actually here. You can see Warplock Jezzails, but it's only a matter of time before the Hounds of Falcon here, these Nehakar Horsemen, are able to chase those guys down. And they will be done for. So now Skrulk probably going to get just feasted on by the Khemerian War Sphinx, although it doesn't look like this thing actually like has the capability to eat anything. It doesn't have like a, I guess it could like rabbit in its mouth, right? Yeah, Lord Skrulk terrified there. Cetra the Imperishable going to be riding him down to the chariot, so Lord Skrulk shall be crushed beneath the spokes of this chariot as the Khemerian War Sphinxes are just going to cycle charge the Council Guard into oblivion, and that is going to be game one going to Falcon. Yeah. You know, Grombrindle's build, I liked it. It had the teeth, the double Helped plus the Council Guard. They just needed to be a little bit tighter, like more tightly packed to force in the Tomb Kings. And then at that point, the Council Guard, Skrulk's AoEs, and the Helpeds had more support. In that case, they were overextended and they were just being shot to pieces by the Horsemen. So that is going to be game one going on here. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. And that's going to be game one as they go into their next set of picks and bans. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had to change a couple things really quick. So we are on Sword now. GG's dropped across the board. He's going to be taking Dark Elves and banning Vampire Coast and Tomb Kings. Cool. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what's cracking. Looks like everything's good on the scoreboards. No drama. We got 1,300 people. Thank you guys for joining today. Really appreciate it. It's good to see some familiar faces, some new faces. Apologies, guys. Okay, I got chat back online now. I got it on my phone, so. GG indeed. How useful are the missiles in the War Sphinx? Oh, they're not bad. I mean, yeah, they can do some damage. Oh, and it's going to be dwarves versus dark elves. Oh man, Grombrindle going back to his people. He realized that the betrayal may have cost him that last game, so now he's going to be going to the dwarves. Oh no, he's going beastmen. He's thinking, what is he going to pick? This is best of 3, so this could be it. Turin, considering how big of a Lord of the Rings fan you are, surprised you've never quoted Denethor from the movies. When the general gets routed. Abandon the city! Yeah, no, I know. I don't drop too many Lord of the Rings references. Probably should. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Changer of Voice says, hey, Turin, which actor do you think should play your favorite character in the Warhammer movie? I want Sigmar to be played by pro wrestling legend Bill Goldberg. Oh my god, dude, that's pretty good. Yeah, and then we can get the Rock to play Karl Franz. Just totally just ridiculous out of character stuff. I want to see Greenskins get some content in dwarves. Like if you're asking, yeah. I think that's what we need to see next. Yeah, so that would be my 2 cents. Dwarves, it's a hard matchup. I think this is a Dark Elf favored matchup. Granted, I'm trying to think what new stuff here is good against dwarves. Honestly, maybe the Medusa. Like, the Medusa does a ton of damage against infantry, so if you want to bring anything new, I have a feeling, actually, Falcon is going to bring the new Medusa. I just feel it. I feel like he's up a game, he's comfortable. And you know who else is really good in kind of an X-Factor pick against dwarves as Dark Elves is Lokir Felhard on foot. You wouldn't think so, but he's very hard to kill, and he's bonus for infantry, and he heals himself. Like, he can do some work, for sure. Vin Diesel as Grimnar. Oh my god. Danny DeVito as Ikit Claw. I always thought Danny DeVito should be Skarsnik. For the if we were to hire an actor. Steve Buscemi will play Skarsnik. Oh, that's pretty good too, actually. Danny DeVito to play Thorgrim or Gotrek? I don't think so. You need someone imposing. Just get Jonathan Rhys Davies. Just like reskin Gimli and just slap him in as any of those characters. Hey, Benz. Thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. So it is going to be dwarves versus dark elves. I wonder how Grombrindle's going to play this. Maybe he's going to bring like gyrocopters and like a defensive box. It's a hard matchup. It's a hard knock life for sure. I would love to see some Medusa play from Falcon though. Like, if anyone can figure out how to make those things work, it would be him. They're one of the more oddball units for sure. They do cause terror, which isn't super useful against dwarves. A lot of the core dwarf units are immune to psychology. Well, not a lot of them, but some, like Longbeards and stuff, and Ironbreakers. But yeah, we'll find out. You feel like the Rock would be Grimgor? We have to have the Rock play like Volkmar the Grim. Just slap a mustache on him and just call him Volkmar. Oh my god. Yeah. Henry Cavill as Thorgrim, what? All right, now we're just getting a little bit absurd here. All right, guys, back in action. Was just talking with Anna real quick. Lovely lady Turin says hello to all. Yeah, dwarves in campaign are really strong. Longbeard's got some weird tweaks for sure. I think they cost a little bit more now. All right, guys, so we're loading into this second match between Falcon and Grombrindle here. This best of 3 to decide who will be going on to the grand finals to face Aerocrastic. We just had a 2-0 victory over Xiphos there. So we'll see what happens here as we progress forward. Thank you guys all for joining. Hope you're all having an excellent holiday season. Everything's going well. Getting to hang out with some friends and family, get some time off, all that good stuff. Yeah, you could just literally have Orion play. I made a video on that a while back. It didn't do as well as I thought. I thought it would be something that would like people would really enjoy. I did a video on what actors should play who in Warhammer Fantasy. But yeah, it didn't do that well. Like it got substantially less traffic than like my regular quick battles and things like that. Yeah, it was a good video though. I don't know. I was really surprised. Any news on the 40K Inquisition show? Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, and these two players for some reason take forever to load in against one another, but when they do, there's no lag, so we should be loading in here pretty quick. And again, for anyone watching back after the fact, there will be timestamps and all kinds of good stuff like that. You know what job I would love to do? I'd love to have Joe Rogan's job on the UFC. Just be like the, one of the announcers or casters, I guess you could call it, inside of the ring. John Cena as Deathmaster, as the Deathmaster, just running in and oh my god, it's pretty funny to imagine. Runes of Wrath and Ruin did get a nerf to their duration, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, look at this! Look at this. So, for the Force of Felcon, looks like here we have a Supreme Sorceress of Beasts, going to be summoning Manticores with Amber Spear as well. And we do have a Blood Rack Shrine. So this thing does have the Medusa shots up top as well, on top of having a shrine. So if you guys look at the debuffs here, you can see it lowers leadership and melee defense, which isn't bad against dwarves, and buffs your stats up pretty good as well. Now for his ground force, it's going to be Sisters of Slaughter and Bleak Swords. So it looks like he's going to be focusing all of his power on the flanks, with the Sisters being on the weak sides of the strong side of the formation here. One group here as well. And a bunch of Harpies basically are just a countermeasure against Gyrocopter play. A lot of people do like to spam Gyrocopters to deal with like chariots and things like that. So the fact that Felcon brought 4 of the Harpies here just shows how like well educated he is in this matchup. So for the Force of Gromby, let's take a look. He's got Longbeards in the front. He does have Norgrimlings, Ironbreakers, Heavy Metal Dwarves. He does have Thunders in the back, Ulthar's Raiders. He has Grombrindle, the White Dwarf. What a hero. Slayers in the back, and a fair amount of Gyrocopters. So he does have a couple of Brimstone guns as well, which will be very good if he's able to kind of shoot off the Harpies. But the issue, of course, is going to be 4 Harpies can probably trade upward and shut down the Gyrocopters, causing huge issues for Grombrindle. So I'm a little bit concerned for him in that respect, but we'll see what happens here. We will see what happens. Hey, take care, Changer of Ways. What's up, Zero? Hey, Zero, you did a great job in the last tournament we had. And also, guys, I'll probably be hosting... let's see. I'm going to be having another... The ECL is going to be starting up again soon, the next season. So just like right away, like right after this, well, not right away, but in the next, couple weeks. And it's going to be an open tournament again. So anyone who wants to play, just, basically just be in the Discord channel and hang tight. All right, guys, so the battle's underway. The Royal Dawi Air Force going to be flying outward, realizing there's a lot of Harpies in the sky. Harpies, of course, a pretty good tool here. And the Thunder should be pretty good against a Bloodrack Shrine. That's something I really want to focus on and see how he uses that. Oh, man. Plus, Felcon also has the Manticore Summon. So the Manticore Summon is another aerial tool that's going to be really good. And they're all Brimstone guns, I think. It looks like he has 3 Brimstone guns in total. So maybe he's going to try and get some sniping on the Dark Elf Lord real quick, which would be smart because he's going to get shut down pretty quick by the Harpies. 82 speed against 105. So yeah, the Gyros can actually kite the Harpies pretty effectively. But I mean, the thing is if they're just running the whole time, then they're not going to be generating any value. And the Harpies only cost 600, whereas the Gyros cost, I think, like 800 or 700. Yeah, the Brimstone guns are like 800, give or take. So nice supporting fire coming in from the ground. The Thunders are able to shoot up in the sky and pick off a fair amount of those Harpies there. So really nice pick right there. Felcon, in the meantime, getting his Supreme Sorceress over here in the bushes. And the reason he's doing this is so he can shoot an Amber Spear down those Ironbreakers. And here comes Felcon. So he's going to be coming out with the Supreme Sorceress. Clearly, he wants to get that juicy Amber Spear right here on top of the Ironbreakers. Nice focus fire coming in from the Dwarves, though. The Gyrocopters with Brimstone guns really pounding that Supreme Sorceress as well, which he has forced back a little bit. Manticore Summon has been used here for the Dark Elves, and the Gyrocopters have been doing a good job sitting near their support. And of course, on the ground here, the Thunders need to start shooting into the Harpies for sure. Oh, and he also has the Crows of Cain. So the Crows of Cain are the ROR of the Harpies here. The first Manticore are going to be jumping in, going after the Thunders here on the ground. And now the descent of the Harpies, the swarm, they're going to be swarming all over the Crows, or all over the Gyrocopters and these other Dwarven units up in the sky. So it looks like Ulthar's Raiders going to be throwing up here in the sky as well, able to actually force off those Harpies, which is quite a nice pick. Amber Spear going down as well, but you can see Grombrindle is paying attention, and he's able to dodge that for the most part. So it looks like Felcon pretty much just canceled the cast there. Longbeards have engaged against Sisters of Slaughter, and it looks like the Dwarves, in the meantime, are continuing to try and free up the Air Force. So you can see here that the Thunder is shooting about face. We have Ulthar's Raider shooting there, and it looks like the Crows of Cain and these other Harpies might get broken off. One group running off the battlefield here. The other one is just basically chasing that Gyrocopter, which is a pretty good trade. And in the front line, we have Longbeards and actually a pretty good fight. They'll be able to 2v1 this fight pretty easily. And Sisters are fighting against Longbeards and Miners. Honestly, a lot of really good engagements for the Dwarves on the ground. It's really just a matter of weathering the Harpy Storm and the Manticores. And here comes the Bloodrack Shrine. So the Shrine's going to be coming in here as well, shooting its Medusa Glare and debuffing the Dwarven troops here. And it also causes terror, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you can see once it's in combat, the debuffs are active. The leadership hit on the Miners is actually going to be pertinent. Nice blasting charges coming in there from Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, but now some of the ranged assets for the Dwarves in the back line are being compromised. And oh, the White Dwarf coming in. He has used the Smoke Bomb. She's very, very slow. 22 speed against 32. Grombrindle coming in for the Karate Chops. Is he going to get the kill here? And it looks like the Supreme Sorceress in a little bit of danger, but she does get back to her fellow elves, but not before she takes a lot of damage from Grombrindle as well as that Missile Fire. So this is actually a really, really close game. In the meantime, Grombrindle kiting over here against the Harpies, but the Dark Elves have kind of collapsed the center pocket here. The second Manticore Summon has gone down here, and the Shrine is just fighting against Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, which is a pretty good choice, but will the Dwarves be able to hold? Hard to say. Falcon is able to get some Harpies back online, and it looks like the Harpies are going to be swarming in after these Gyrocopters. Grombrindle's key to victory here is keeping those Gyros. He really needs them in the late game here to blast down some of these big things like the Shrine. Looks like some of the Thunders are being hunted as well. This one group here getting chased down by the Manticore Summon, but the Manticore Summons from Falcon should be running out relatively soon, so that's going to be potentially an opportunity for the Dawi to kind of stabilize here. But yeah, it's a very, very close battle. Supreme Sorceress, I think, ran back into the trees. I think she's hiding back there somewhere. She still has Amber Spears, too. Amber Spears, of course, will be very, very powerful as this game does progress. And it looks like the Ironbreaker is going to be going. Oh, nice bombing run there by the Gyrocopters right on top of the Sisters. Blasting charges coming in as well. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers 100% want to get in there and help out and try and peel some of those Sisters off. So if we look around the battlefield, you can see the balance of power is relatively even. It's hard to say. It's very, very close at this point. Grombrindle and the remnants here of his Longbeards are going to be going after these Sisters here, but Sisters of Slaughter are just such a tough unit to break off here. We have some Slayers fighting in the front line. 21 Slayers should be able to beat down those Bleak Swords, and it looks like the White Dwarf is going to be going after the Shrine. So yeah, he's coming in hot. He's getting that charge. And he gets that contact, doing about 400 damage right there. Certainly not bad. The Shrine is able to run him over, and unfortunately, this is the fate of Dwarven Footlords, as they often get kited in these situations. Crows of Cain still chasing down the Gyrocopters up in the sky. Grombrindle trying his best, but now he doesn't really have any elements to peel with. Across the battlefield, there are some loose Dwarven engagements here. We, of course, have some Longbeards fighting against the Sisters here. And the Thunderers here might come back online, but it looks like Falcon is swooping in very aggressively, coming in with these Sisters of Slaughter. And he should be able to potentially clean this up. Granted, those guns are certainly going to hurt, and oh man, if the Dwarves are able to get this back online, he could really punish these Sisters pretty hard. So the Dwarven guns turning about face, going to be unleashing a salvo, I would imagine, into those Sisters. Grombrindle on the hunt as well, and there still are some very angry Ironbreakers. This is a very, very close game, and look at this in the distance. Grombrindle still kiting here with the Gyrocopters, still running from those Harpies, which is pretty hilarious. Crows of Cain, though, doing a really good job. Solid Regiment of Renown. The new ones, they do regenerate, so those bad boys or bad girls, whatever the hell they are going to be able to heal. Some Sisters getting on top of the Thunders is very unfortunate for the Dwarves. He needs to prioritize keeping these guys alive if he can. And it looks like there was an attempted Amber Spear coming out. You can see Falcon's just lurking. Oh man! That was close. Man, really good reaction by Grombrindle as well. Falcon with a beautiful cast angle, but Grombrindle saw it coming and was able to dodge that Amber Spear for the most part. So very, very well played there. Now, the Thunderers here, there's 43 models, and you can see here that Grombrindle does know this is important, and so does Falcon. Falcon's going to be coming in with Sisters and Bleak Swords, and those Thunderers are going to be pulling back. Some Gyrocopters are here as well, still being hunted by those Harpies, so perhaps those will be something that do come into play here in the late game. As the Slayers surge in to try and protect these Thunders, the Ironbreakers are coming as well. So you can see he does kind of take a second to shoot with those Gyrocopters, and he's actually going to be jumping into melee combat with the Gyros, which I suppose isn't a bad idea. It pulls the Harpies on the ground, and gives you a little bit of support there. But Grombrindle's fighting pretty hard. This is a very close game. The Bloodrack Shrine still does have pretty good ammo, and those missile attacks... Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how to turn off notifications. I'm such a peasant on my phone. But yeah, the Bloodrack Shrine still has some pretty good ammo, so it's going to be able to do some really good damage against Ironbreakers, but it's going to be hard to deal with Grombrindle. I mean, he's pretty meaty. The guns are offline. Bounce of power is like dead even. This one Gyrocopter was able to create some really good separation here, getting a couple really nice shots here into the Supreme Sorceress, a beast, doing some solid work. And Grombrindle, I mean, does give the Dwarves a solid anchored answer here against some of these big threats, but he's going for one more shot, it looks like, and no, he's going after the Shrine, but now he needs to start kiting again. He just needs to run, because these Harpies are just going to give that Gyrocopter the dirty business here. Anyways, Norgrimling's Ironbreaker, 72 models right here, up to 100 kills. Those guys just absolute beast moding it, just anchoring and just defending against the Dark Elf Onslaught here. And the Shrine is just kiting. It looks like another Amber Spear is going to be going down as well. Ooh, this could be really bad. Here comes Falcon with a nice shot right there. It does take out a couple dwarves, but it looks like Grombrindle is able to react in time and actually dodge that. So really, really good control there. Unfortunately, this gyrocopter is a little bit tar-pitted by the Harpies for the dwarves. Falcon doing a very good job knowing if that gyrocopter is able to sit and shoot, either his Lord or the Shrine is going to be in some serious hurt. There are 5 Brave Slayers left here for the dwarves. Ironbreaker's coming in, and of course laying a nice hammering here on the Sisters of Slaughter. And Grombrindle doing a bit of a number on the Shrine. He must have a smoke bomb coming up relatively soon. There actually could be some MLG tactics if he were able to fly his gyrocopters over this this mass and then use a smoke bomb. And it looks like he's going after the Shrine, trying to force that thing back, maybe waste some of its ammo. I think it only shoots... Oh no, is he going to get it? No, it looks like the Shrine's able to get away. For some reason, they were both moving very slow. It was a very strange thing. But the Ironbreakers are going to be a huge pain in the butt to deal with. There's 66 of those guys. Longbeards of here, of course, are something that, you know, almost never runs. Longbeards and just Ironbreakers take forever to break. So if we look around the battlefield, let's kind of take a cursory look and see if there's anything in the distance going on we're missing. Some Bleak Swords over there. Yeah, mainly just chaff. It looks like Falcon does have 85 Bleak Swords here, which will be very useful. Up in the sky, the gyrocopter continuing to just kind of be beaten down here by just the horde of haggard harpies. But yeah, I think just trying to land the gyrocopters amongst these sisters would probably be his best bet right now. But yeah, losing those gyros is pretty bad, and it looks like that may pull the bounce of power ahead for Falcon. But despite the bounce of power being back, oh, look at this one Slayer. Look at him go. One Slayer here. One Slayer to rule them all. Coming in, hunting down this Bloodrack Shrine. He's probably not going to last too long against that thing. So, Ironbreaker's here, and Grombrindle able to lay some serious hurt on those guys. At this point, Falcon needs to keep trying to get Amber Spears and also use that Shrine to cycle charge. Let's see if this one Slayer is able to get some punch. Looks like he gets run over by the Chariot there. He's back up. Is he going to get some contact here? And there he goes. All right, so he was run over by the Shrine there, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm using it for chat. Oh, no! A slip up here! Man, that was close. Grombrindle almost got that caster. The Supreme Sorceress almost went down there. That would have been disastrous. Oh my goodness, that was really, really close. Ironbreakers, in the meantime, going to be searching into some of these Bleak Swords right here. So it looks like we have another pit fight underway as the Bleak Swords do engage. Ironbreakers and their 83 melee defense, or 82, just holding firm. Grombrindle, he needs to get back here and fight with his Ironbreakers. Like, he needs to fight on top of them and attack this Bloodrack Shrine. And it looks like he is going to be going in. So yeah, he's got his last stand here. Smoke Bomb is active, and there it goes. That is going to be lowering the melee defense of everything here by a substantial amount. It doesn't hurt leadership, but it does hurt speed and charge bonuses and things like that. And now we have the last stand of the dwarves as the Ironbreakers are fully surrounded. He has popped Grombrindle, has no fear. A little bit preemptive, I think, because again, he's probably not going to get broken off like that quick. It's probably going to take a little bit more time. But the Bloodrack Shrine is certainly going to be what, you know, is a saving grace here for Falcon, I think, because it does have those AP missile attacks plus AP melee attacks. Or does it have AP and melee? No, it doesn't. But bonus for infantry is still quite good. And you can see a lot of the Dark Elves are breaking off, but the Ironbreakers are now wavering. They're fully surrounded here. They have 14 leadership, 10. It's just very, very close, especially with the Bloodrack Shrine here. And they are immune to psychology, so of course that's not going to be an issue. But the Dark Elves are kind of wavering en masse too. Yeah, if he had saved Grombrindle has no fear, that would have been pretty nice. But it looks like that's going to be a victory for Falcon in a very, very hard-fought game. I have to say, well played to both players. That was a really tense one. Like, a lot of good micro on the gyrocopters. Falcon had amazing Amber Spears, but then the dwarves reacted. It was just really close. Really, really close game. Looks like they're saying GG across the board. Grombrindle, of course, going to be going out strong here. Going to be fighting to the bitter end. The Harpy pick from Falcon was great. If he didn't have Harpies and like had brought Chariots or other things like that, that could have been pretty disastrous. So GG indeed. Oh my god. Yeah, the Shrine does fire while it's in melee. It does. It does indeed. Grombrindle was an absolute powerhouse. Look at him with his glorious portrait. Man, what a good game. That was really, really close. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. And now we have Falcon versus Aerocrastic here in the grand final. So let's go ahead and update the bracket. ECL Finals bracket. Dun-dun-dun-dun. There we go. Oh, no, not that one. So very well played to Undertaker and Grombrindle. A solid showcase there. Almost taking that game. Honestly, the Dwarves were ahead on the bounce power for quite some time, and that's a hard matchup for Dwarves. And yeah, he did a really good job. So very well played to Undertaker, a.k.a. Grombrindle. Bardzo Dobja, my friend. And now we move on to the grand finals, Aerocrastic versus Falcon. And this is a best of 5. Shrine meh, but looks amazing. Yeah, well played. Well played indeed. So for the first map, let us have a fast and furious one. No, Falcon, where'd you go? It's just you, man. All right. So at Falcon and Arrow, you guys are up. And this is it. So Falcon, of course, was our first champion of the Eternal Challenger League. Aerocrastic has yet to claim this title, so we'll see if he's able to get it here. And here they come. We're going to be on Essence of Chaos, and let me go ahead and update the scoreboard. As we go back into the main lobby. A little bit easier now that Falcon's name is already up here. And let's get Aerocrastic as well. And now I can answer questions from chat. My apologies, guys. It's on my damn phone. I'm just a primitive lad here. Yeah, you're allowed to bring 4 Sisters of Slaughter, yeah. I mean, Dwarves have good answers. Ironbreakers and Longbeards trade pretty well with Sisters. It's not like a bad trade. All right, so looks like we're all good there. 1,400 people, nice. Thank you guys. Getting quite a crew here today for the grand finals. Essence of Chaos. Falcon's like, oh god, Essence of Chaos. I'm like, yes, let them fight. It's BO5, by the way. So this is a best of 5. Bards of Dobja, indeed, yeah. The main event of the evening. The Ironbreakers fought to the last. They had like 100 plus kills. They were beast moding it, but you know, they just kind of got surrounded and that was that. Yeah, Chaos is kind of weird. They're not... Oh, Falcon coming in with the Raponce faction. And let's see what Aerocrastic picks. Yeah, so they're working out their picks and bans right now. How are we doing time-wise, by the way? How long is this stream been going? Can't quite tell. 1 hour and 39. Nice, perfect. Wanted the stream to be about 2.5 hours. I have some other stuff I have to do in the afternoons. This is perfect timing here. Yeah, Sisters are actually pretty good at dealing with AP troops. Their durability, they have really high melee defense. It's just mainly due to their combat stats being so strong. And physical resist, like, yeah. And Dwarves don't have like the best offensive output, so they can actually last really long in that fight. Yeah, we have rules. We're using the, what's it called, rules? The rules that Aerocrastic's working on. He asked if we could test them here in the season, so we're giving him a whirl. Is there a reason to play the Blessed Dread? No, there's not. There's no reason other than just looking cool. They don't have any special units or anything like that. So it's going to be Chaos versus Bretonnia. Classic. This is going to be fun. So that means that Falcon can get Henri la Massif, or the Mountain That Rides, or Sir Gregor Clegane, as we actually call him. So he has access to the new Bretonnian character, as well as Raponce, and I would imagine he's going to bring them. Raponce is actually good against Chaos. She has good AP and some nice debuffs and stuff, so I can see a Raponce pick here. Well, also what's really powerful is that this faction, they can bring, what's her name? The Fey Enchantress for some reason. I'm not sure why. Yeah, Zero is a very good Chaos player. Gentlemen in chat, so if you guys have any questions, direct them at Zero. He's one of the better Chaos players I've seen, so let him know. So Free Company Militia have had changes. They can shoot while moving now, which is very cool. So pretty much the same as like gunnery mobs. I love that. Just advancing down. Okay, Falcon looks like he's playing Lizardmen. They might be working on the matchup here. You two can do picks and bans or gents. Start when ready. I think they're in chat together. Like they're in a chat lobby in Discord. So I think they're just like working out the matchups between themselves, which is fine. I know, I was so excited for Bretonnia, but alas, it looks like he's going to switch to Lizards. But watching Falcon play Lizardman is really fun too. So, and this is best of 5, so I'm sure we'll see Bretonnia at some point here. Oh, Xiphos, you can't bring the Fey Enchantress with them anymore? That's probably good. Yeah. I love using Vlad von Karstein. He's one of my favorite characters to use when I play vampires. Oh man, let's stretch it up. I wonder why Vlad doesn't have a horse. Is he like opposed to it or something? Is that like a lore thing? He's just like, I don't like horses. Maybe they're all like afraid of the way he looks, so they just run away from him, even the vampire ones. Who knows? Xiphos, can you phonetically spell out how I'm supposed to say that Bretonnian faction? The Chevrolet. I just have no idea, dude. Do you think Bretonnia should get more units added to its roster? I think Bretonnia will get they'll get probably the DLC treatment before Warhammer 3, I bet. So they'll probably get a couple new units. Yeah, I think they will. Definitely. They'll probably get Legendary Lord and, something else. It'll happen at some point. Yeah, well played, Zyphos. Well played, man. I know you were hoping for a best of 5. Unfortunately, I got some stuff I got to do this evening, and my hands have been bothering me a lot the past couple days, so I'm trying to keep the stream from going to up to 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. That's true, Mr. Pig. That's the running joke. Hey, what's up, Doff? How's it going, man? How's it going? So it looks like it's going to be Chaos versus Lizards, which will be fun. Usually just a monster mash. I wonder if... Oh, you know what? I actually think that Falcon might bring the dreaded Dreadsaurian here just to please you guys. So as far as the history of the Eternal Challenger League goes, Season 1, the champion was Falcon. Season 2, the champion was Zyphos. Amazing games last season, for sure. And Season 3, this is it. So whoever wins this, Falcon, of course, if he wins, will be a repeat champion. And if Aerocrastic wins, he'll be adding his name to the list of the Eternal Challengers. Very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff indeed. A Horned One Baroness Time Warp Rush. That's certainly viable against Chaos. But you need to respect the big monster fight too, like Shaggoths and things like that. I wonder if Arrow's going to bring Sigvald. He does have Sigvald as his picture right now, so it's making me a little bit suspicious that we could perhaps see Sigvald. But I don't know. The mind games must be real here. The Monster Mash is the standard kind of meta way to play this, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Zyphos for sure. I was expecting your Way Watchers to just pick apart all those heavy cav. I was waiting for it, and then I saw the Mel Gibson rush. I was like, I mean, it could have worked for sure. If you go back and watch that, Zyphos, there was a bit where your cav were engaged, and Volkmar comes in and drops a Soulfire bombardment on your sisters, and it literally one-shotted them. And at that point, that whole battle over there was lost. Yeah, it was tough. No worries, brother. We'll get you back next season. Footsquires were not a unit in tabletop. Interesting. The double Dreadsaurian, that's pushing it. I mean, honestly though, the Dreadsaurians aren't terrible against Chaos. Once they got their hitboxes fixed or their attack animations fixed and their mass, they're pretty good because they kill Chaos infantry pretty effectively, and on top of that, they can fight Shaggoths quite happily. So, I mean, if there is a place for the Dreadsaurian to shine, it's certainly maybe in the Chaos matchup. Unleash the Forsaken? No, Forsaken aren't that good here. They just get crumped by the monsters and other things like that. The thing about Horned Ones and Cav play in the Monster Mash fight is they have to be able to envelop the unit, and good players like Arrow are probably going to have infantry there to support that. So then the Horned Ones are mucked up amongst the infantry, and their attacks aren't going into the main target. That's why getting high mass single entity monsters is a little bit more efficient sometimes, depending on the circumstances. The Cav, of course, will be very good at clearing out infantry too, but then it's a two-sided coin. Yeah, no worries, Zyphos. No worries, man. Giants, Giants are something too. Bringing the double Giants trade very well versus Dreadsaurians, in my experience. So you can bring Giants and they cost less too, so it's you can have even more stuff. Looks like Aerocrastic's ready here. I would love to see a Sigvald double Giant build. Oh my god, that would be legendary. How good are the new and improved Graveguard? Oh, they're good. It's not a massive buff, but it certainly helps. A little melee attack here and there isn't bad. Hey, Saud from India. Yeah, hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well over in India. Croxagore Rush? Maybe. Falcon he used to love his Baroness Time Warp. I don't know if he still does that often. I'm sure he does. Hoping for Kolek and a Dreadsaurian. I would love to watch that. Giants are pretty good. Chaos, does often bring a couple Marauder Horsemen, so they are solid against Giants, but there's some back and forth there. So let me go ahead and ready up to make sure the players don't have to wait on my accord. Looks like Falcon's scheming, coming up with some dank builds here. We'll find out. We will find out, my friends. Forsaken used to be pretty good in Warhammer 1. Yeah, they're in a weird place. I actually like Forsaken in a couple matchups. I have fun with them against Beastmen, and sometimes against Skaven they can be pretty fun as well because they trade okay with Rat Ogres and stuff, and they can pressure flanks pretty hard. But Doomwheels wreck them pretty substantially. Wouldn't giants get destroyed by laser lizards? So laser lizards aren't a super common pick against chaos. So you're pretty safe there. The issue is marauder horsemen. Usually you see a couple marauder horsemen just for battlefield control and like some anti-large. So yeah, we'll see. You usually don't see laser lizards in this matchup. Laser dinos are more for like wood elf and like kind of kitey matchups, just to kind of force your opponent in. Not so much used against like rush, and in my anecdotal experience. But that's just my 2 cents. Turin, would the spiky salamanders be good against chaos? You know what? I don't know. I haven't really experimented with them, Blake, since they got changes to their profiles. They could be okay. I mean, in theory. I haven't really tested them too much, so maybe Falcon will show us something new today. But yeah, that's a good question, Blake. Something to test for sure. I've had success with them against Chaos before, but I felt like I was winning in other aspects of the battle, so it wasn't really them that did it. It was just me like getting a better monster fight or something. So we're on Essence of Chaos, which is just a small fisticuffs map. I just wanted to let him fight Godzilla style here. Horse Masters are quite good, for sure. They have decent melee combat sets too. In this matchup, though, probably just bringing the regular ones is better. I mean, unless you're going for like a Plague of Rust combo with Warp Chicken, where you Plague of Rust down like a big target and then just focus it with your Marauder Horseman. That's something that certainly is very viable as well. Yeah, a lot of thought going on for sure. This is the grand finals. This is for all the marbles, guys. So we'll see who comes out as the boss hog, the big Pumbaa here today. Yeah, it'll be cool to see. I'd love to see the Razor Dons. I mean, if you look at them on paper, they should be good. Again, I haven't tried it myself, so I don't want to give you guys any false representation here. So we're loading into the battle. If we look around the glorious battlefield, you can see it's a nice little opening here. These maps are really cool. It's pretty amazing what goes into making video games, like if you really think about it. Like all the detail, like look at it, there's like little rocks and things here. Somebody like did all that, right? It's wild. Players are loading in here on the Essence of Chaos as we prepare for battle. And here we go. Hey Dov, did you have fun in the Festog Bowl? It was fun watching you play in that, man. It was definitely a lot of fun. Oh yes, Falcon is Russian, correct. Wesley says he's cheering for the Lizards. Hey, that's fair play. I'm more of a heretic myself, but, you know, it's okay. I like the Lizardmen quite a bit, too. They're fun. We could see a Slan. I know somebody in chat wanted to see Jabba the Hutt, so we'll probably get him in here. All right, so... Oh, is there a Dreadsaurian? There's no Dreadsaurian. There is a Laser Dino, so I was... Oh, no. Oh, never mind. Oh, my God. Of course, Falcon. Of course, he brings the Ark of Sotek. All right, so... For Falcon's army, let's take a look. He's got Skinks mixed in with Temple Guard. Temple Guard, of course, pretty good for a defensive Helm's Deep. And yeah, Temple Guard with a Slan in the back. Going to be a Slan Mage of Light for the Baroness Time Warp, of course. So he is going back to his OG build here. And as far as his dudes here, he's got a Sora Veteran. He does also have a Pharaoh Carno and the dreaded Ark of Sotek. Which, guys, the Ark of Sotek has been buffed. It got a buff to its damage output. So I don't know how this bad boy's going to do, but he does have the Ark of Sotek ability, which I feel like this should be on like a 30-second cooldown. It's so bad, but I don't know. Maybe it's buffed now. Maybe it's better. So he's got an Ark of Sotek. Wow, okay. On top of that, we do have the Powhawks' Sentinels, probably going to be trying to drop some rocks on like Chosen or elite troops like that, and also harass the Marauder Horsemen. So yeah, this is like classic Falcon. It's like when he won the last ever Chosen, he like literally was beating people with the Dreadsaurian, like some of the best players in the world. Chaos Marauders here, Chosen with Halberds across the entire front line for Aerocrastic. We got Shaggoth, and a Shadowcaster, so Aerocrastic's build very, very serious here, and he does also have Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes to help deal with monsters. This is a really good build. I think it's incredibly solid. I think Falcon's build's very strong. It's going to be like Halberd on Halberd fight, with Barona's Time Warp facing off against the Lore of Shadows. But maybe the Ark of Sotek will be the breadwinner here. Is this going to be the variable that changes the outcome of this battle and decides the fate of Middle-earth? Perhaps so. We'll find out here in the next episode. Yeah, Mobility Scooter and Arc Time. Yeah, it's correct. I mean, Falcon's build's pretty competitive for sure, with the exception of the Ark of Sotek. That's probably the only weak point, but really it's not like a huge investment. Like, I guess it's like a 900 or 1,000. Yeah, it's still substantial. It might be good against like the infantry in the front. We'll find out. So I wonder if the Ark of Sotek pick will play mind games here. If it will intimidate Aerocrastic. I don't think so, but we'll certainly find out. He does also have the Cohort of Sotek in the back, a solid AP unit that is unbreakable. Very, very helpful against Chosen Blobs as well. And the first couple javelins going to be coming in from the skinks. Going to be focus firing down these chosen with halberds here. And there is some water on this map, guys, so the aquatics could come into play. So one chosen does go down. It looks like some rock drops might go in, but he's probably going to save them for like a blob fight or something like that. Aerocrastic, in the meantime, going to be getting his Marauder Horseman up and around the flanks, probably getting ready to harass this Sora Scar Veteran or some of these other big threats. And the dreaded Ark of Sotek awaits. Kolek coming in, Shaggoth coming in as well. Looks like a net of Amnichok going down as well. So that could have been pretty bad for sure if he got caught there. Yeah, it looks like he cancels it. Foz Protection going down here. Kolek is going to be going fisticuffs here with the Sora Scar Veteran making a good blow. And there's also Chosen with halberds nearby. Aerocrastic sitting with the Marauder Horseman on the wings. And it looks like for now he is going to be throwing into the Temple Guard. You can see in the front, Temple Guard surging forward as well. The Dino's kind of pulling back. That engagement not going so well as Aerocrastic did get the better punch here with Kolek, as well as his Brolek, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Nice play here by Falcon using his skinks to screen out the pressure coming in from Marauder Horseman. Very, very good stuff. So Marauder Horseman probably going to circle around the front at this point and just start poking down some of the other big threats. But now the moment you've all been waiting for, the dreaded Ark of Sotek coming in. And is he going to be dropping the snakes? That is the big question. So it looks like he's going. And Kolek coming in with his hammer, dropping some bows here on the Ark of Sotek. But we haven't seen the snake drop yet. I would imagine it's going to go down here in a second. Marauder Horseman look to be throwing up in the sky after the Powhawks of Sentinels. And the Slan is going to be rotating in as well and dropping some sort of a... Oh, that must be a pendulum. Nice pendulum by Arrow. That was a beautiful cast there, doing a ton of damage here against the Temple Guard. Shield of the Old Ones and Time Warp is also active, but the Ark of Sotek has dropped its snakes. So now you can see the chosen warriors of the Chaos Gods being feasted on by the snakes of Sotek. These little blue snakes. Very, very funny stuff there. Anyways, that's of M-Talk going down right here on Kolek, as there is an attempted Alpha Strike here by Falcon coming in with the Feral Carno plus the Scar Veteran. Getting some good damage against the Shaggoths for sure. Rock Drop coming in from the Powhawks of Sentinels, able to hurt those chosen with halberds as well. It's a very close fight, actually. And you can see here the Sora Scar Veteran continuing to try and hammer on Kolek Sun Eater, but the Marauder Horseman coming in for a bit of a punch to target that unit. Looks like Lord of the Storm going to be going down in the Temple Guard as well, getting some decent damage over there. Now, if we look here, it's a very grindy frontline fight. These skinks over here easily able to kind of dispatch these Marauders. Nice banishment going down from the Slan, but it still looks like, despite the magic support, that the Chosen with halberds are actually defeating the Temple Guard. The monster fight's really what it's going to come down to, though. The Feral Carno here going after the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Kolek going after the Ark of Sotek, which is just tanking like an absolute champ. And it looks like an overcasted Foz Protection is going to be going down, buffing up the combat stats of all of these units. And, you know, it kind of looks like Kolek's taking a lot of damage here, guys. This Feral Carno's pretty healthy. The Scar Veteran's a little bit beat up, but Kolek and the Shaggoth are also taking a ton of work. And there is a big angry Slan nearby, and I would imagine he's going to be having some supporting magic. Enfeebling Foe going down as well, on top of the Sora Scar Veteran, putting his melee attack down to pretty much nothing. But it kind of looks like the Lizards are doing pretty well in this monster fight. If you see, both the Shaggoths are taking a bit of work. Ark of Sotek still going strong here, and it looks like the snakes have been summoned from the Ark of Sotek, so suddenly Kolek is poisoned by the sneaky snakes. The Slan's getting in there, the Toad, I mean, everyone has to get their hands dirty. Unfortunately, though, for Falcon, there are a ton of Chosen with halberds kind of mixed into this fight, which means there's a lot of steady anti-large damage coming in. The Chaos Sorcerer's getting in there, and it looks like, it's so hard to evaluate this, but it looks like Aerocrastic is pulling ahead here, as the Sora Scar Veteran from Falcon here is just getting manhandled. It's taking a ton of damage, and losing that, it's going to be pretty bad. Granted, Kolek's going down as well, guys. Kolek's getting rammed in the back here by the Ark of Sotek. So a bit of an even trade as Kolek breaks. The Sora Scar Veteran does fall, but he needs to make sure that he's able to get Kolek. So, oh my god, is the Ark of Sotek going to be able to carry this game on its strong, powerful back? Perhaps so. So the Powhawks of Sentinels here are going to be hunting down Kolek Sun Eater, going in for the kill there. The Slan, of course, fighting amongst the halberds. And the Ark of Sotek is going to be going fisticuffs here with the Dragon Ogre. Granted, he probably needs to be careful. There still is a Feral Carno here. It looks like the Feral Carno is going to be coming in. Is the Ark of Sotek going to stabilize? It's at 9 leadership, and the Feral Carno does come in and attack the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. This is a really, really close fight, though, guys. Honestly, it could go either way. It looks like the Lizards are slightly ahead on the bounce of power, as these 41 Temple Guard coming in the late game, cleaning up the Chosen with halberds. But yeah, if this Feral Carno kind of gets 2v1'd here, this could be a way back for Arrow in the game here. But the Temple Guard surging in, Marauder Horsemen are taking heavy casualties, and now there is a rampage going down on the Feral Carno. Very, very close fight. So Ark of Sotek's broken. You can see right here, this guy's running 535 HP, but the Chaos supporting elements are gone. So the Marauder Horsemen are gone, and Falcon does pull ahead on the bounce of power, as the Foz Protection and the stacking defensive buffs have really helped these dinos keep fighting here in this long game. But again, there still is a healthy Shaggoth here, which is quite scary. Feral Carnosaur is rampaging. There's no Cold Blood active, but it looks like he does get the Terror Route here on the Chaos Sorcerer. Maybe the Ark of Sotek will come back and have something to say. You can see Arrow surging in for another push here, but there are some cohort of Sotek coming in. And these guys, of course, are unbreakable. It's going to be really useful. And this Feral Carnosaur is just going to the bitter end. And it looks like he was able to break off everything. And the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is actually kind of on the ropes here. Is the dreaded Ark of Sotek going to be drawing first blood here in the grand finals? Perhaps so. So here we have it. Feral Carnosaur charging down this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. 1500 HP against 837. Yeah, give or take. But nonetheless, he's a little bit isolated here, and you can also see that there is a Chaos Sorcerer coming in. Chaos Sorcerers are not pushovers. Shield of the Old Ones, Phos Protection coming in, Skinks coming in as well. This Feral Carno just not going. Oh, and he does get the Shaggoth with the last blow, and down goes the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, sealing doom for the forces of the Dark Gods as the children of the Old Ones once again fulfill the great plan and smite the forces of darkness. Man, that was a game. The Snake Engine, the Ark of Sotek, that must have been it, guys. It had nothing to do with his good play aside from that. It was just the Ark of Sotek, of course. But yeah, man, that was a game. I don't know what to say. Really, it just came down to the stacking buffs, the Phos protections, the time warps, the aura pretzels. Yeah, it was just a lot. And honestly, the Temple Guard really held well. Slann was able to get some good banishments and magic punishment on the Chosen. And it was just, yeah, that was crazy. So well played. Wicked D says he's naming his first child Ark of Sotek. Oh my god. So Falcon drawing first blood here in this Monster Mash fight. So now we'll go ahead and jump back through here and give him a big map. Because I'm sure they're sick of that. So we'll give him the Ogham Shard. Alright, so now we're on Ogham Shard here for the next map. That was so good, wasn't it? Oh my god. Yeah, I thought Arrow had that too. The Dinos were taking a big beating early, but he was able to just outlast the Warriors of Chaos. I think we need to make a petition to Creative Assembly to nerf that thing, yeah. It got 22 kills. Yeah, it did. It did indeed. Hey, we got a donation coming in from Joe Huffman of $10. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate all the support, man. It always helps out in these, especially in the holiday season. Thanks for taking the time to stream, man. Good luck with your hand. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate the donation, man. You're an ace. You are an ace. And yeah, more good times to come. 1,600 people. That's solid. It was Snakes on a Plane. It was Snakes on a Chaos. Snakes on Chaos. I don't think he would bring Grimgore. I don't think so. So, Ogham Shard next. We'll give them a bit of a bigger map to work with so they can play some different styles and they don't have to just Monster Mash every game. Oh, man. The Carnosaur was an absolute beast. That guy just was like tanking like 2 single entities, just going in hard. Phos protection, keeping him steady. Get out of here with your stupid notifications. I saw a game with Turin where the new Stalker ranged attack took a Master Assassin from 100. Yeah, the Master Assassin can get karate chopped pretty hard for sure. That was a crazy game. So typically you can have 3 single entities in our tournaments. So like you can basically have like any combination of the 3 big dinos, right? You could have like a Carnosaur, a Scarvet. You could have triple Bastiladon, a Stegodon, Bastiladon, and a Carnosaur. It's just 3 single entities. Because like in the olden days, like in early days of ladder, people used to just spam like all single entities and like cycle charge, and it was really obnoxious. So basically they got some rules for that. So it's going to be Dark Elves. Looks like Falcon's going to go on Dark Elves. Aerocrastic hasn't decided on his pick quite yet, so it's going to be Beastmen versus Dark Elves. Okay, so now I think Falcon is going to get a good opportunity to showcase the new Scourge Runner Chariots, which are just incredibly strong. Dov, that game was great, wasn't it? Oh my god, man. That was really a fun one to watch. Hey, take care, Jonathan Robin. Thanks for joining. Ark of Sotek might have got 22 kills, but it did some clutch damage on the Shaggoth. It did get some ramming in there. Also applied poison in some of the clutch moments, so, there is that. There is that. No, he had 3 single entities. He had the Bastiladon. He had the Feral Carnosaur and the Scar Veteran. He had 3. Yeah, so he's all good. Hey, Wesley, thank you for the donation of the $2 Canadian. He says, lizards represent. Dude, you got your lizards, man. You got them in style. So yeah, players are preparing their armies now. I wonder what Arrow's going to do against Scourge Runner chariots. Maybe Centaurs with great weapons just to corral them because they're faster and they have good AP. I don't know. I feel like Scourge Runners are going to be really nasty here. Honestly, if I were Falcon, I'd probably just go like full kite. But of course, being Falcon, it's probably going to have a Chill of Centaur in it, which is actually, not bad against Beastmen as is. And you know what really got buffed in this most recent patch was Minotaurs. Minotaurs got like cost reductions across the board, so we could see a Minotaur train just to like charge in there and get ham. Imagine getting rammed by a haggard dino. Yeah. We're currently using the banner rules. Yeah. Correct. We're going hard. So, Malice, maybe? Malice isn't bad here. Malice has some really good AoE debuffs against, like, Beastmen blobs of infantry. We could see Malice on his cold one. Or the High Beastmaster. It would actually be pretty funny to see the High Beastmaster for the Dark Elves be used against the Beastmen and, like, tame them. Tame the beasties. He's really good, too, because you can put him on a Scourge Runner chariot, and he can have the Tormentor sword. So, it's pretty damn strong. Because like when the Beastmen finally do catch your chariots, you're just like, nope, Tormentor sword, and then you just waste them. Oh. So Falcon is ready. Aerocrastic, it's time. Here we go as we load into Game 2 in the Grand Finals. Yes, let it begin. Siobhan says, enjoying the stream a lot. Streaming Turin with my girlfriend is always great fun. Hey, glad to hear that. Hope you and your lady are having a good time. We'll keep you entertained for as long as we can. For the duration of this best of 5. How old am I? I'm 31 years old. Yeah, I'm getting up there, I've seen some winters, as they say. Purge the foul beast from these lands. Yeah, I don't know how the Beastmen and Dark Elves ended up on Albion, but it is what it is. I suppose I'm sure there's some lore justification for it. So this is a pretty fun map. It's big, has some really, really cool kind of thematics about it. You can see there's like a little kind of a village over here of some sort. It looks like there's some burning buildings or like some pyres. This is totally where Beastmen would hang out. They would just be like nesting in this little by these pyres here. And up here we do have it looks like a bit of a cairn, like a Stonehenge, which is pretty neat. Look at this. Isn't this cool looking? It has like whites. God, it's so neat. Warhammer lore is so badass. Then over here, of course, we have some fences, and yeah, we're going to see who's defending the Stonehenge here. There is some aquatics play on this map, some forest, kind of terrain action. It's pretty rare that you actually see, like a lot of these like thematic maps, like actually being good for multiplayer, but this one is definitely pretty good. Deployment zones aren't super huge, but that's okay. All right, guys, so we're back in it. I will take a look. Yeah, the Crone Hellebron's not terrible here. So I'll take a look at chat as soon as the game is over, and now we're back in business here. So for Falcon, it's going to be a Witch Elf front line, Sisters of Slaughter, Sisters of Singing Doom, which are a very good choice because, if you take a look, these bare naked ladies here do cause terror. So they're able to actually terror off a lot of the Beastmen forces and rampage them, which is cool. Dread Spears in the front, Corsairs supporting as well, a pretty good countermeasure against lightly armored infantry and Minotaurs. And it looks like he does have the Blood Rack Shrine, so Falcon going very much for like a bit of a Death Star. Shrine, of course, quite scary. You can see the Hydra lady up there just doing her thing. And we do also have Malekith. So Malekith is just a powerhouse of a character. The Black Dragon causes terror. Soul Stealer is just a game-changing ability. So it's a proven classic. At the back, he does have Slaanesha's Harvesters and no Scourge Runner Chariots. So not opting to bring those against the Beastmen, which I think they would have been very good against like all the Minotaurs. It looks like over here, Arrow has Minotaurs and Centaurs, things like that. But instead, Falcon does like his Blood Rack Shrine. So this thing, of course, has pretty good anti-infantry capabilities through its missile attacks, plus its chariot functions. And yeah, the leadership penalty against Beastmen is quite good. It causes terror, certainly not bad. Now for the forces of Arrow, it looks like he does have a Beastmen ambush waiting here. Butchers of Kalkengard, and what else? Oh man, he's going like full Vanguard. Centaurs, Butchers, a bunch of Spears, pretty much standard Beastmen play. Centaurs with Throwing Axes. I have Morsleep. He does also have Morker the Shadowgave with Brave Scream and Vile Tide, so it looks like he's going to be using those to deal with the Sisters and some of the other decent infantry. And up on the high ground, it looks like there's some more Hounds as well as some Centaurs. Sons of Goros and Centaurs, yeah. So he's got a lot of pressure coming in for sure. This is, I don't think I've ever seen anybody like deploy up here. This is wild. Jacob Payne, thank you for the donation. Can't wait to see Falcon do it to it. Well, perhaps we will. Coming in with that shrine. We'll see if Aerocrastic can get on the scoreboard as currently Falcon is up 1-0 here in this best of 5 series. Epic whispers. So here come the Dark Elves. Malekith is going to be surging forward, and the Cygor here is not throwing his boulders yet, but probably want to start throwing and just going after the Sisters of Slaughter. Also going after Blackheart Corsairs isn't a bad idea, but I feel like there's enough mobility for this Beastman army. I love this. This is so thematic. You see like the Sons of Goros and like all these Centaurs pouring down from the hills to ambush here. So the first throw from the Eye of Morsleep, not the most accurate. It doesn't make contact here, but you can see that the Dark Elves is going to continue forcing their way forward, taking the initiative to pressure because they kind of have to because of that Cygor. If they don't, they're going to get Shrek'd pretty good. So here it comes, a boom right there, taking out a couple Corsairs. It only takes out 3 right there, so not terribly devastating. But now Falcon kind of has more of a general picture of what's going on. He sees all the Centaurs coming down from the hills. Look at the mini-map up right, you guys. You can see like that cool like Beastman kind of a surround concave. Very, very neat stuff. The only thing that's missing is like a Vanguard coming from the back to truly make it like a Beastman fight. So I have Morsleep thrown in, going after the Sisters, but man, Falcon is just so good at dodge. Like, that's crazy. He literally waited for like 1 second before the boulder goes, and then he dodges. And I'm just like, oh my god. That's just some like next level stuff right there. Anyways, boulder coming in. I'm going to be going after some of the Dread Spears. It looks like it does make some okay contact. For the most part, though, Falcon has been able to dodge most of the threats. And the Bloodrack Shrine might be able to come in and get some poke as well. Minotaurs, Butchers of Kalkengard going to be anchoring the center, realizing that they do need to protect the Eye of Morsleep. Oh, did that boulder make contact? It did. It took out a fair amount of Dread Spears, so nice boulder right there. Ammunition pretty good here on the Eye of Morsleep, which is already winded, so this guy definitely needs to do some cardio. They get winded pretty quick throwing those giant boulders. I mean, look, he's like literally hucking these giant boulders here. That makes sense. So here it comes, going out. And, oh, that was a nice one. Falcon did not dodge that one. Those Sisters just got mangled by that boulder. Beautiful throw right there by that Major League pitcher. And now we look, the Dark Elves got to be trying to do some skirmishing. So you can see here that we do have the Medusa on the Bloodrack Shrine shooting into the Cav units. Granted, I've noticed that the Bloodrack Shrines do pretty terrible damage against Cav, but against infantry, it's really, really good. I mean, a single shot took out 13 models right there. Corsairs have gotten in range. Now they're going to be shooting at the Eye of Morsleep, which is quite good. Malekith basically just waiting overhead. So Malekith here is just kind of waiting. He's like, all right, come in for the big fight with the Minotaurs. I'll come in and Soul Stealer you in response. So here comes some cows. Cows going to be charging in, it looks like. The Bloodrack Shrine charging in as well. Over here we have a pretty good fight for the Slaanesha's Harvesters, who did get the good charge here on top of the Centaur. So good engagement there. Oh, look at that breath attack, and Viletide coming in from Aerocrastic as well. Nice response. I mean, he did lose that fight, but he was able to get some good punch on a very expensive Cav unit. And here you can see the Sisters of Slaughter are kind of forcing their way in, going after the Eye of Morsleep. It looks like Malekith is lurking as well, and the Butchers of Kalkengard have engaged with Sisters of Singing Doom, and they need to get back before they rampage. That would be pretty disastrous for sure. The Beastmen really need to play like a hit and run style here. If they take this head up engagement versus the Dark Elves, it's pretty much just going to be a losing situation. Yeah, and this is pretty bad. I think the Dark Elves are probably going to take this pretty quick. Just, I don't like to call it early, but being able to lock up the Eye of Morsleep and rampage all these high value units, nice Brave Scream right there. I just don't know if the Beastmen are going to have enough punch back here. I mean, maybe with some of these summons from the spawn, that could be something that could help. But the Eye of Morsleep and all these guys getting rampaged and dragged down, But again, the Beastmen do have the spawn summon, so I guess that's something else. Getting the spawn summons are going to help, but yeah, even they're getting dragged down pretty hard. And you can see here that Falcon is able to snipe the Bray Shaman and get him off, and now that Bray Shaman is pretty much going to get trash can. Granted, you know, Aerocrastic on the flanks does have Centaurs with throwing axes, potentially could free up his caster. But look at this, the Butchers are running, the caster is gone, the balance of power is currently falsely inflated by the summons of the Chaos Spawn. And there is some pressure surging into the back line. Arrow has done a good job shutting down the Corsairs, some of these other troops back here. But yeah, losing your caster, that's pretty tough. Plus the Butchers of Kalkengard getting chased off. So it looks like Arrow might be coming in here using the Sons of Goros and these other mobile units to charge into the Doomfire Warlocks, which is good. Killing 5 models instantly, and it looks like they might be able to save the Minotaurs. 5 of 12 models, I mean, they have a lot of room for their healing cap, but unfortunately losing that caster is very, very tough. But Arrow, is he going to be able to come back here and save this situation? Centaur's the throwing axe is getting beautiful shots into Malekith. Poison Hound's chewing on him as well, but it looks like that Bray Shaman is probably going to shatter as he gets attacked down to 240 HP. But this is actually a chance for Arrow to get back in the game here. If he's able to goon Malekith here, get a full surround, you can see Sons of Goros, Centaurs, all these troops are getting in there pretty good, but all that Soul Stealer is going to be devastating when that goes off. Oh no, that hits everyone, and to get some fat heals as well. There are some Poison Hounds up in the hill for Arrow kind of lurking, but Malekith is just such a raid boss for sure, and he's going to break off all those guys. He's taken a lot of damage for sure, but if we look back in the main fight, you can see the Bloodrack Shrine continuing to go strong, but the Sisters of Singing Doom and company, you know, I really thought that would be over a lot quicker, but man, the Beastmen have really endured. But once their spawn disappear here in a couple seconds, I think that's going to be the turning of the tide. As you can see here, Malekith is going to be coming in. Eye of Morsleep's broken off. Butchers of Kalkengard did actually come back in, but there's a full health group of sisters here. And these ladies are going to be able to charge these guys down and really do quite a bit of work. Now, where are the pockets of strength for the Beastmen? Over here we have Morker the Shadowgate going pretty hard, fighting some Dread Spears. We have a fair amount of the Centaurs with throwing axes left, which are a pretty good countermeasure against Malekith, as well as the Shrine here. Ammunition on them is decent. Nothing terribly impressive, but it looks like I mean, Arrow certainly still has a chance in this game, but I feel like Malekith is just going to be so hard to deal with. And you can see here the Medusa Shrine shooting the Eye of Morsleep at the back here as the sisters try and chase it off the battlefield. Maybe if Arrow could secure this, but I don't think so. There's too many angry ladies chasing. Beastmen over here are able to secure this pocket, pushing off the Dread Spears. And now we have Morker the Shadowgate and all of his spears and some Poison Hounds and Centaurs doing a good job. Dark Elves, of course, still have that shrine. It looks like there's some chat going on. Oh, just good luck, have fun. It looks like he just said that like halfway through the game, which is pretty funny. And the Butchers of Kalkengard here, getting feasted on by Malekith. What's his dragon called? Isn't it called like Seraphon or something like that? It's able to feast on the souls of those Butchers right there, so they get chased off. And the Cygor is going to get hunted off the battlefield as well. A little bit of room before the edge, but I mean, the Beastmen still have a lot of chaff left. It's going to be hard, though, to deal with that shrine. I feel like terror routes are going to become quite a real thing, but I guess the balance is like dead even. And Arrowcrastic still, of course, does have the Centaurs with throwing axes here, and yeah, they're going to be good against Malekith. So I guess as long as he doesn't like fall into a situation where he gets forced into a big awkward blob fight. The Medusa is still shooting its eye beams. It's just shooting the Cygor in the back. 14 leadership on this boy. Oh, he might actually come back too. I mean, if he gets enough separation here from the chariot. Yeah, it looks like the chariot's going to be able to... I would definitely save the ammo, though. If I were Falcon, I'd probably turn off the fire at will to make sure you have it here for this fight in the end. So, here comes Malekith looking for some opportunities to get in there. Corsairs are going to be scooting forward as well. These are not shielded Ungors, so certainly okay targets for the Blackheart Corsairs with handbows. Sisters of Slaughter are easily going to be able to probably just crunch through these infantry. Granted, Morker with his Pimp Claw is going to be able to do some decent work against the Sisters as well. Of course, he has a 400 weapon strength, poison, very, very useful against these type of units. And Arrow's just kind of waiting to get that optimal engagement. Centaurs with throwing axes, probably just go after Malekith, I would imagine. And now the Shrine's coming back, and honestly, this might be the time for Arrowcrastic to engage, because the Shrine is really far away. And if you're able to kind of get into this fight before the Shrine gets back, that's going to be really good. So yeah, he's forcing the fight now. It's pretty rough, too, that there's still Sisters of Singing Doom here. And you can see Arrowcrastic is going to be coming up and around with the Ungor Spearman herds and these other troops and getting a bit of a surround on these guys. But the first of the Beastmen, of course, are running here. Morker is engaged in combat. And Malekith is kind of waiting for his opportunity to engage. And nice play here by Arrow, using his troops to keep the reinforcements from getting into this fight. But yeah, those Sisters are going to be so tough to take down. You can see Malekith kind of teasing some engagements, just feigning lands and then pulling back up in the sky. Centaurs with throwing axes, saving their ammo, clearly. They're not on fire at will, so it looks like they're just waiting to go after Malekith. Yeah, I mean, Morker's going to get cut to pieces by those Sisters. Like, he'll do good damage back, but I just don't know. So some of the Dark Elf forces have buckled. Dread Spears and Corsairs are in a little bit of trouble. Centaurs with throwing axes throwing as well. Arrow definitely needs to fall back right now, as these Sisters are going to be trying to chase those guys. Balance is still somewhat even. I would say slightly Dark Elf favored. As you can see, the bounce power is a little bit in their favor. It's just eensy-weensy, but it's still something significant. Sisters of Singing Doom are broken, and the Centaurs with a really nice kind of collapse here and going for a big Alpha Strike. Nice timing push there by Arrowcrastic, is able to get some big damage on the Sisters, but you need to stay away from these whip infantry and pull back here. So Centaurs and company going to be kiting back. Stand Your Ground is popped as well, and it looks like Morker is going to be engaging in combat versus Malekith. A pretty uphill fight for him since he is weak to fire damage. I think, oh no, Malekith actually doesn't do fire damage despite the fact he's on a dragon, so I guess that isn't a factor here. The Shrine in the back is just kind of chasing off the remnants of the Beastmen, and Centaur is going to be just kind of reorganizing themselves and trying to get those decent attacks here into Malekith, who is currently whooping on Morker. Nice Soul Stealer going down. Granted, it does get these guys. It does get the throwing axes. Nice shot right there. And I just don't see how he's going to deal with the Shrine and all these other units. Morker is being forced back here. The Bloodrack Shrine still has some ammo, so there's still going to be some ranged kind of counterplay coming in from the Dark Elves here. But the Bloodrack Shrine, yeah, you can see it's got 110 kills. Pretty good stuff. Centaurs come in for a cycle charge right there. But that's pretty much going to be game, as Morker, like, you know, he just can't deal with Malekith. Malekith's just the Witch King, and this is just some haggard cow, so what are you going to do? Victory is in the grasp of the Dark Elves, as Falcon's going to be going up 2-0 in this best of 5. Man, on the ropes. Arrowcrastic may be down, but he is not out. And we will see what he can do in this next match. That was a really cool showcase of the Shrine, too. But I really think that initial engagement, in which I made my prediction, was really the deciding factor. The Butchers and all those guys in the Eye of Morsleep, like, Arrow fought super good, considering he lost the Eye of Morsleep and lost his Minotaurs, like, almost instantly. He still almost, like, tied up that game and came back. But yeah, that was pretty disastrous, losing those units to that rampage early on, for sure. Because they were very, very needed. Yeah. GG. So Falcon up 2-0 here. What's it going to be? What is it going to be in this best of 5 showdown? The fate of Middle Earth is to be decided here. So let's go ahead and do the Tower of Hoth. It's a great map. Malekith is a beast for sure. He is a beast. The Dark Lord cometh, Malekith, yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it was just, if the Minotaurs had been maybe more conservative and the Eye of Mortsleep positioned a little bit further back, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It was hard to protect it against that Dark Elf build. It was very aggressive. The Witch King versus a Haggard Cow. I know Morkor is scary in lore, I know, but it's just funny to say that. I know he's terrifying and probably is like equally as scary as Malekith if you really think about it. So we're going to be on Tower of Hoth here for this next game. And I will be right back. Gonna get some more water, guys. All right, my friends, I returned for the final hour. Here we go. Who are we rooting for, by the way? I think it's pretty split. I feel like there's fans of both players here in chat. Man, 1,600 people. It's awesome to see that kind of support here for Total War multiplayer. It's great. Thank you guys so much for joining today. It's been a pleasure hanging out. Look forward to streaming more. Lizards represent. Indeed. They're representing. You know, I saw the craziest statistic today. So I was looking at my my channel statistics, and you can actually see what percentage. I've never looked at this before. You can see what percentage of the people who watch your videos are subscribed to your channel, like regular viewers, right? And apparently only 50% of people who watch my quick battles on a regular basis are subscribed. It's wild. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys are because of stream notifications and things like that. And most people who come to streams, I feel like usually are subscribed. But yeah, for regular videos, it's a wild statistic. Hair Trigger says he's just here for good games, not worried about wins. Well, you're certainly getting those. Happy to see Warhammer 2 multiplayer scene is alive and well. It's doing well. Yeah, the DLC actually helps. Normally, like DLC is kind of like a bad word in the gaming industry, but it's so funny how for this game it's just like people beg for it, you know. But yeah, it keeps the game alive for sure. It keeps it fresh. And yeah, what's really cool about investing time and like effort into this, like to Warhammer, is like Warhammer 3 is coming, and like there's a long lifespan ahead of you, right? So it's like it's something that's worth your time. Magic D, thank you for the 20. Oh, appreciate that, man. He says, great that ECL continues. Also, thanks for announcing streams sometimes. We have jobs. I'm sorry. I announced this one, though. I made a community post, a Twitter post. We did it. Yeah, so if I'm not sure, it probably is, to be honest. Oh, my ratio of guys to girls. So my channel, I think, is 98% men and 2% women. So it must be Anna, my mom, a couple other folks. Yeah, it's 98% men, if I'm not mistaken. All right, here we go. So it's going to be Falcon on Norska and Aerocrastic on his rats. So he's bringing out the big rat guns. We're going to see what he can do against the forces of Norska. If he can get back in this, if Falcon wins, that's going to be a 3-0 sweep, and he will be the grand champion of the Eternal Challenger League Season 3. And it begins. Why is ECL considered... No. Yeah, I don't think you've heard that, Wesley. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say ECL is considered bad. I said DLC. Yeah. In a lot of communities. But like, I feel like for Total War, like it's only like what, like $5 or $7, and it adds a lot to the game. Really wish Skaven had something to replicate their malfunctions on tabletop, though. Yeah, that's the one thing, because tabletop. I was at my local game store a couple weeks ago, and I was watching a Skaven player play Warhammer Fantasy, and like there was just like random things blowing up if you like roll a 1, but if you roll high, it just is like super crazy. Yeah, it's not really in this game. The closest representation is probably through Unlimited Power on Ikit Claw, where he gets like a ton of winds of magic, but he also can zap himself. Yeah, Mr. Pig, I agree. I agree. Yeah, Bubba's Big Blast, thank you for the donations. No, yeah. Magic G, I know you're not being ironic for sure. I'll make sure to announce all my streams from now on. I'm gonna try and be better about it. Sometimes I just like click the stream button, I'm like, let's go, let's have a tournament, but yeah, I gotta be better about it. So I'll do my best. Zach LeBrake says, Turin, my girlfriend watches your videos over my shoulder sometimes, and now she jokes about the Baconator, Clever Girls, and Mel Gibson. It spreads. Does she also use the word haggard? Yeah. That's the one that's the most contagious. How many of you guys like use that word in your regular lives now? I'd be curious to know, because it is like the most contagious descriptor ever. Like, it was something that in my hometown where I grew up of Ojai, California, actually. It was like, it was said, like it was common. Like when I was in 7th and 8th grade, like it was weird. It was like local kind of something you didn't hear like in other areas. I guess it was maybe just my group of friends or whatever. But it like everyone I meet and like become friends with, it eventually weasels its way into their verbiage and kind of things like that, right? Yeah. We would never see Skaven in serious tourneys if they had those mechanics. Yeah, it's true. It's true, Jason. Everyone raises their hands. I know, it's contagious. All right, I better focus on this potentially last battle here. We'll see how it goes. So for the force of Falcon, it's going to be Marauders and Berserkers in the front line, certainly more than enough to cleave through Skaven infantry. And Falcon's going to be coming in with his favorite Werewolf Rush. So it looks like in total he's got 4 of those. He's got Wulfric the Wanderer, Famir Balefiend of Fire, and a couple of Marauder Horsemen. Again, pretty good tool against like Ogres and Hellpits, just getting that missile pressure and backline harass potentially. And I just have to read this, I'm sorry. I use Haggard probably four times a week. Willamos? Yeah, no, it's Baconators, not Bacon Eaters. Yeah, Mr. Pig, 100% will, man. We did announce this one with the exact time we were going live, which was 10. But yeah, no, I'm going to try and do better about that. So for the forces of Arrow, so Arrow's currently on the ropes, but one of the better Skaven players out there. He's very, very good at Skaven. So certainly if he can come back with anyone, it's going to be with his brave Skaven. He's got Skaven slaves across the board, clan rats in the secondary line. Now this is the Arrowcrastic special, the Warpfire Throwers. He's one of the few players out there I've seen be able to make these things work very well, and they're very good against Berserker type infantry, so I'm very excited to see that. In the back, he does have Warp Grinders. So Warp Grinders, of course, could be pretty good for defending his back line and snaring down werewolves, Teethbreaker Rattling Gunners, Plague Monk Sensor Bears, with a couple Rat Ogres, a Hellpit Abomination, and double Warplock Jezzails. Now for his leadership, he does have a Grey Seer, so there is going to be some summons coming out. Yes, he does have Blades plus summons. Solid build, very, very neat. I'm excited to see how he is able to protect all this. I mean, 4 weapons teams against Norska with a bunch of werewolves. It doesn't look like Falcon has any like hounds, though. He just went very, very in on the werewolves. And of course, he does have Wulfric, who's going to be taking some sniper shots, I would imagine, this entire game. Oh, look at this! Look at this, guys. Falcon's hiding his Marauder Horseman in the High Elf Keep. That's actually pretty cool, like that ambush. Look at that. That's really cool. I wonder if he was wondering if we'd find that. That's really great. Yeah. Wicked D, your favorite. Oh no, did he forget the caster? Yeah, I know. I forget my caster all the time in battles. It happens to the best of us. All right, so the battle's underway. Skaven going to be orienting themselves to the position of Norska, getting ready to shoot Jezzails. I wonder what they're going to go after. I wonder if he's going to try and, go all in on Wulfric. Sometimes the issue with trying to snipe out a mammoth like really quick is that they have a ton of HP and then the other things just kind of run shop on you. But it looks like he is going to be opening up on Wulfric, which is a good choice. In the meantime, Norska looks like they're going to be overloading this flank, which does give the rats a decent kind of option to kind of screen up and just get ready for it. Jezzail's going to be shooting into the werewolves, but Falcon is able to juke most of those shots. And Skinwolves do, of course, have regeneration, so they can heal themselves. So if you don't actually finish off a model, chances are those bad boys are going to be healing up to their full health. In the meantime, Skaven Slaves and company getting ready. The pressure here from the Marauder Horsemen, who are going to be kind of circumventing the flanks here, getting ready to go. And the Grey Seer of Plague, maybe looking to engage here against some of the Marauders, wouldn't be a bad idea. He is going to be dropping a summon here. And what I really want to focus on this game is the Warp Fire Throwers. I want to see what kind of damage they do. So the first Rat summon has been used. Plague Furnace definitely needs to kind of get mixed up into this fighting here, as the Jezzails do shoot into the Skin Wolf. So it looks like they're going after Skin Wolves. Rattling Gunners are going to be going after Wolfric, which will suppress. And the Werewolf Bum Rush has come in. So the Werewolves have made contact here with some Skaven Slaves, and it's only a matter of time before they come in. So currently the Warp Grinders... Oh, is he going to get the Warp Grinders in position in time? He needs to pop that now. You need to pop it, pop it, pop it. So the Warp Grinders, oh man, it does not get the snare off, and the Werewolves get right on top. So he was a little bit slow on the snare, and it looks like the Werewolves were able to get on top of a couple high-value assets. Now the Ogres, in the meantime, going to be collapsing in. Hellpit Abomination needs to collapse in as well, but currently, I mean, these Skin Wolves are still snared down, but they're going to be free in just a second here, so it's only a matter of time before they really get in. So here we still have some Jezzails online, shooting happily into the Skin Wolves, and it looks like the Grey Seer Plague going to be coming in for this big blob fight right here. But yeah, in the back line, Marauder Horsemen from Felcon are going to be collapsing downward, downrange against these Warp Fire Throwers, and it doesn't look like they're going to get much value. Nice burning head coming down from the Norskins, roasting through quite a few rats there, able to get into those Plague Monk Sensor Bears pretty efficiently. But the back line here for the rats is very heavily compromised. He still has two weapons teams in good shape. Teethbreaker's okay here, Warplock Jezzails here okay as well. And he does have I guess these Jezzails online. It looks like they're trying to shoot here at the Marauder Horsemen, but Arrow needs to make sure he's able to kind of stop this onslaught here on the bottom side of the formation. So the Marauders partially obstructed here by the Clan Rats, and now you can see we do have the Warplock Jezzails who are going to be turning about face and going after the Marauder Horsemen. Now the pit fight is actually going really quite well for the Skaven. The Hellpits and the Rat Ogres able to force back a lot of the Norscan troops, this like weird choke point, plus the leadership penalty that the Plague Monk Sensor Bears do apply to units, actually doing very, very well. But Felcon, of course, doing a very good job in the back line, chasing down Jezzails and different units like this. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, it's hard to protect those guys. The Warp Grinders have broken off, but they could come back in the late game, and of course will be a pretty substantial variable. And now we have a big pit fight as Clan Rats do get a rear charge, and a lot of the Werewolves are looking quite low. Plague Monk Sensor Bears will be putting out some substantial damage against those guys. Oh, and this is nice for Arrow. He got his Warp Fire Throwers back on the high ground. If he's quick on the draw here, he could turn those guys around and easily roast these Marauder Horsemen. He needs to do that ASAP. You can see Felcon is going to see this coming. Warpfire Thrower is going to be turning, getting some nice shots in those guys as they do charge here. They're shaken. There is a leadership penalty on those guys, and it looks like, oh, Arrow's going to be able to secure his high ground position, which is really nice. He has Warp Grinders and Rattling Gunners. Again, another group of Marauder Horsemen coming in, which are kind of like a dual-purpose Hound unit, but they are able to get on the Rattling Gunners. Nice play there. And it looks like the Norskins are able to secure this big blob fight. Scorch effect going down. Skaven are kind of falling back a little bit, trying to get into a secondary engagement here as Warpfire Throwers continue to shoot into these Marauder Horsemen. In the back, we do have some Skaven Slaves and other troops coming back. Hellpit Abomination still doing a number on Wolfric, who's actually very beat up at this point. But yeah, the Skaven... Oh, is that the Warp... Oh, look at that. He gets a Seismic Snare plus the Warp Quake, and he's able to snare all these guys in place. Is getting some fire from Jezzails from downtown, and there's not too much Norscan pressure over here. Granted, oh no, there are some Marauders coming in. Marauders may be able to actually push those guys back. As Felcon's a quote-unquote hound play or kind of a harass play, he's really paying huge dividends in pushing off those weapons teams right now. So these Jezzails running for the hills, doesn't look like there's any Skaven nearby who can salvage that situation. Granted, the Hellpit Abomination is able to do well, but the problem is that Felcon's Werewolf pack, all these Skin Wolves and other troops here, just, you know, are just going to be healing. And the weapons teams, obviously, though the Bounce Power is reflecting the fact that they're still here, like, they're not going to be able to do much. So 22 Jezzails coming online over here is pretty big. This is not a Plague Furnace, this is just a Grey Seer, so it's not going to be able to do the Perpetual Mortis Engine effect. Hellpit Abomination coming in, going after the Bale Fiend. Some Skaven Slaves surging back in as well. But it looks like Felcon's probably going to eventually grind out this main fight, although Sensor Bears are coming back. It's a very, very close fight for sure. Bounce Power is still Norscan favored though. You can see some Rat Ogres getting a good collapse here on the Marauder Horsemen as these Clan Rats try and hold these guys back. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very close game for sure, but I think that Felcon is in a pretty good position with all his werewolves. Granted, the Hellpit Abomination is still healthy and healing too. If he's able to get some like terror routes here on these wolves, yeah, it looks like they're starting to get routed off here by the terror. That's actually pretty big and could pull the Bounce Power back towards the middle as Norska is kind of in a bit of a mass exodus. So what Arrow Krasik needs to do right now is he needs to get these Rat Ogres and save these Jezzails. These Jezzails are like his last bastion of hope here, upon which it's the shield upon which he can fall. And it looks like, wow, the Marauders actually got defeated by those Clan Rats. What planet is this? So the Grey Seer here is going down, getting a Pound Town pretty hard by some of the monsters here. Helpet Abomination still going pretty strong here against the Skin Wolves, but there's just so many Norskin infantry. Premier Balefiend, just a lot of scary stuff as that Grey Seer of Plagues is forced away. It's not a terror route, but nonetheless, he ain't coming back. There's a fairly healthy pack of Skin Wolves here, the premier condom brand of the old world. Got to be chasing down the Grey Seers. I should make a t-shirt with that. That'd be pretty funny. Anyway, some Giselles have come back online. This is actually pretty nice for Arrow. This does give him a potential in back into this game, but I don't know if he has the assets to kind of protect these guys from the Norskin onslaught. He's got Warp Grinders coming back in. Grey Seer is getting pushed off here. No way he's coming back in. We do, of course, have the Helpet Abomination. I think the Helpet has to like try and kite right now. Granted, a lot of these werewolves are taking a lot of damage. If the Helpet can like kite back and the Giselles can keep pounding into those forces, maybe I mean, the Bounce Power does show Norska as like super far ahead, but it's certainly like a game that could be a comeback here. Like if that Helpet can kite back and these two Warplock Giselles can finish off the Mammoth, like you never know. It's a game, and you guys can see the Bounce Power is actually reflecting that as a lot of the Skin Wolves are starting to break due to the terror. So now it's like you have two Giselles, you have 12 models here, and it looks like you have like 21, so almost full capacity Giselles over here shooting. And they're shooting after those guys. So yeah, they need to start kind of hammering Wolfric here, but the thing is Falcon's going to have his mobile assets back soon. These Marauder Horsemen are probably going to be able to chase down those rats and pressure them. Yeah, and the werewolves are coming back. Premier Balefiend's a little bit low as well, but that Helpet Abomination needs to kind of kite back a little bit as well, do some cycle charging. I don't know if sitting in sustained combat versus like these Marauders is probably the best bet here. This is a very close game though. Like even though the balance is like this, I feel like it's much closer than you would think. I guess Wolfric is still alive and he counts for a lot. Ammunition is running a little bit sparse here, but Arrow needs to be careful not to let this Helpet get surrounded and killed here, because if it does, he'll probably just lose due to army losses, to be frank here. Helpet Abomination's wavering, negative 109. Yeah, that's probably going to be it. I mean, I don't think the Giselles could finish him off, plus Marauder Horsemen, and that's going to be a 3-0. So now I don't feel as bad about being 3-0'd by Falcon in a tournament like a week or two ago. Man, that was a game. That was a game indeed. So well played. I mean, Arrow played a great game. The weapons teams, unfortunately, were not able to generate too much value. The Teethbreakers and like the Warp Fire Throwers didn't do a whole lot, and I think that's what cost him the game, because Arrow played a very scrappy, tight game. He played very well, but those guys not being able to protect them essentially was, yeah, that was kind of the straw that broke the rat's back. And Falcon is going to be our champion. So the repeat champion, he's the champion of Season 1 and Season 3 of the Eternal Challenger League. Zyphos, of course, the champion of Season 2. So let's update that in this best of 5. And now we go on to the bracket to crown our champion. ECL Finals bracket. It is going to be Falcon. Let's make his name extra big and spicy. But again, very well played to all the competitors today. And, in general here in the Grand Finals. King of the Dead, Aaron, Zyphos, Aerocrastic, Hadri's Undertaker, Vicious Satsuma had a really good series with Falcon. I believe that was a 2-1 series. And of course, Falcon is going to be our grand champ. So congrats to him. Well played. Great games across the board. So if you guys want to see some high-level play, there you go. There you have it. And also we have a couple donations coming in from Christian Bender, 20 DKK. He says, how do the Skaven make a deal? They ratify it? Dude, that's pretty good. Nice, Christian. Nice. Italian Spartacus, I brought the lads. Thank you, Ryan. Hope your stream went well. Drew Smith donated 5 as well. Really glad my Skaven units don't delete themselves with bad RNG. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably for the best that mechanic isn't in here. But man, what a series. And we had 1,700 people watching too. That is almost a record, I think. Yeah, almost a record. It was close. I actually thought Arrow might come back there. Like, those Giselles might finish off the Ogres and then be able to snipe Wolfric. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really, really solid game there. Alrighty, so let us go back to the scorecards here. Take a minute, look at the battles and everything. So yeah, this is a pretty classic front line. Berserkers, of course, with the grind. Marauders coming in there. And I kind of like that he didn't like bother with Hounds. Like he saved money, just invested more in the Skin Wolves and then brought a bunch of Marauder Horsemen as like his backline sweeper. It's really good. And Skin Wolves are just so good against rats because they can handle rat ogres. They do well against hell pits, any large threats. They regenerate too. So they can actually endure a lot of the Skaven bursts and stuff, which is quite great. How does that work? Falcon is both Ever Chosen and Eternal Challenger. Yeah, I don't know. The technicalities. Yeah. I'm not sitting in a steel chair right now. No, I'm standing. I have a standing desk. It's really nice, actually. No Bretonia today. Well, no Bretonia today, I don't think. Yeah, unfortunately not. All right, guys. Well, on that note, special thanks to everyone for joining. I really appreciate all you guys. And again, let's take a look at the bracket here. We can see Falcon is going to be the Dark Lord of Season 3 of the Eternal Challenger League, winning in the finals as well with the Ark of Sotek. Very, very good games across the board. And again, well played to all the competitors. Special thanks to all of you guys for joining. It's been a pleasure. To the mods for helping out in chat. Couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are absolute aces. And then also we have a fair amount of donations coming in from Spartacus, Christian Bender, Drew Smith, Bubba's Big Blast, Magic D, Jacob Payne, Wesley Chartrand, Tiamat64, Joma, Andrea Declarini. I think we hit the crew. Thank you guys all so much. And Joe Huffman as well for the donation coming in via PayPal. Yeah, I know. Falcon's a beast for sure. They all are. They're all great players. Those were close games. Several of those games at the end could have gone either way, and they were really, really good. All right, guys. So until then, how do you steel chair someone without a steel chair? Well, I have one in the living room, so if I really have to, I can go get it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you guys covered. Yeah. Third place is a tie. It's usually the stream's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours is like a good mark for me, so I'm trying to just like, keep it in that ballpark. Correct. Yeah, because this last weekend when I did the Festdog Bowl, it was like I was there for like 5 hours and I was working the mouse and camera the whole time, and it kind of like taxed me a little bit, so I just need to rest. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Congratulations to Falcon, the Dark Lord. He's our champion once again in Season 3. And again, he was champion of Season 1. Zyphos was the champion of Season 2. And we have Falcon as the champion of Season 3. So Season 4 will be starting very soon. Season 4 is going to be an open format, so anyone can join. Probably going to cap the tournaments at 32, so the first 32 people, but you'll get in if you really want to. And players can now play more than once. So in this Eternal Challenger League, you can try and qualify every week, basically. So if you drop the first week, you can then enter another 32-man tournament, try and enter. It's going to be fun. So stay tuned for details on that. Probably be starting late December, but stay tuned for that. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a playout screen here for anyone watching back so the results aren't spoiled by the timer. And yeah, we'll see you guys around. Take care.